You're listening to the Snyder-Collin podcast, presented by FPP Broadcasting. This week brought to you by a Star Wars spin-off movie that no one really wants, but I guess we're getting. I don't know.
President. Oh, man. Yeah. As you can see what I'm on today, just like we on every other day, go get it. Get to the bag music, Cocaine trap music type shit, I'm a rare individual, cut off your hand if it's killing you. You gotta stand on your tippy don't take. I got go like I'm Pootie. She give me tang, then I sleep on her booty. Bought me a house, turn that bitch to a cutie. I'm flying, I elevate. I got problems, an open case. My little bro got his first baby on the way. In the trap, so you know what we on the day. In the trap, so you know what I'm on the day.
So I'm at work the other day, just doing what I'm normally doing,
Yeah.
And Jacob, he comes up behind me and he grabs my sweet ass, as he quotes it, and he goes, "Collin, I would love to rape you anally."
Wow. Did I really say that?
Yeah, you did.
Wow.
Yeah.
It must have been a pretty long day.
Yeah, and then he said he'd like to also do things to me orally, and I was like, so I told my boss, and Jacob's now unemployed.
I don't recall any of this, but I believe it happened. I do believe you. Just so you know.
You're fucked up, man.
Yeah, I was pretty shit-faced.
I don't know if have you ever shared the story about how you drank a bunch of coffee, took a nap, woke up, and you were like, I don't know, you were like, it was like you just woke up from an overdose or something.
We haven't shared that story, but we can.
Yeah, so Jacob comes into work and he's just dazed out. He's not saying anything. He looks like he just got traumatized or something. And I thought he was on drugs. Frankly, I thought you were I don't know, on ecstasy or some shit.
No.
Crazy.
It's very out of character for me. I don't even know why you thought that would be a serious thing I would do.
Because you're acting weird. That's why. It looked like a valuable explanation. Oh, he must be on drugs. That's why he's so fucking out of it. So I'm like, dude, what the hell's wrong with you? And you're staring out blankly, and you're like, I don't know how he got here. And I was like, oh my god, he's gone mad. He's gone insane.
Well, what happened was
the explanation of it's actually it's not funny, but it's just kind of that's it.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, it is.
I was up really late the night before, and I had slept very little, and I was basically running on coffee at the time, and it was exam season, so I had right to be up for a long time, so I hadn't slept very well, and I drank some coffee. I was running on it, and I took a small nap before work. More accidental than anything, so I was woken up suddenly because we had to go, and I wasn't expecting to fall asleep in the first place. So I was woken up very suddenly, and then I had to drive to work, and all of that sleep deprivation, getting an hour of sleep, probably less than an hour of sleep, was just so killer for me. It did not help me at all.
It messed up your sleep cycles. You're probably deep in sleep when you randomly woke up. So you're just oh.
Yeah. And I drove to work, and I do not remember driving to work. And I got to work, and I just was not feeling very good. So this is one of the more memorable moments of our friendship, to be quite honest with you. You were just so kind, and you were like, Jacob, you need to sit down, get some ginger ale in you, get some.
I got you water.
Yeah, but I still was drinking ginger ale.
Oh.
I don't know why. I don't know how I got it.
It might have been from gin or something.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, I was like,
you were worried.
What the fuck is wrong with this kid?
Yeah, you were very worried, and I don't know, that just that really hits home. I don't know. Everybody out there needs to know that they need a Collin in their lives, in the same way that I have a Collin in my life. Start a podcast.
So,
rape each other anally.
Yeah, we normally do. So, so Jacob Snyder, we recently watched the new Solo: A Star Wars Story trailer.
Yes, we did, didn't we?
Which I'm guessing was, I don't know, dude. It seems like all these trailers are always tied in to oh, watch it on premiering on Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Yeah, and this one was American Idol.
What? Really?
I think so.
American Idol. It's back, everyone.
Yeah.
And it's like, who cares? I guess it's because Disney owns like all these networks and stuff. So
I guess so.
It's to like get traffic, I guess, or excuse me, not traffic, ratings.
American Idol is
viewers.
on ABC, correct?
Probably.
I feel like they're on
Fox?
ABC. It might be Fox.
Yeah, it might be Fox.
Yeah. I think you're right, actually, about that. Maybe you're not. I don't know.
I mean,
we don't know anything, turns out.
Disney's about to just like purchase Google.
No, they're fucking not. Fuck you. That would get shot down, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I think that
Google has to be worth more than Disney.
Oh yeah,
I'd hope so. Google's probably more valuable than Disney.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I don't know. That's kind of a good question. One thing I wanted to say. So in recent history, Fantastic Four in the comic books I'm not going too comic booky. I swear to God. I promise. It's gonna be brief. Marvel canceled a bunch of Fantastic Four stuff and X-Men stuff. In recent history to promote more of the movie side of things, since they didn't own the Fantastic Four or the X-Men. And a lot of fans took issue with that because it's like, hey, you're sacrificing these characters that we all like just so you can like basically make people forget about them. And that's why there's no X-Men in Marvel vs. Capcom 4 or Infinite, whatever it is, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was more just like, hey, MCU characters only, because it is heavily MCU. There's like Gamora.
Yeah, well,
shit.
that's the exact reason. That's why they're promoting the MCU characters, and since the X-Men and the Fantastic Four aren't MCU characters, they are kind of just like, ooh, let's make people forget those exist. But obviously people won't, because they love the Fantastic Four. So we haven't had like any Fantastic Four comics in a series of years, and Marvel just announced that they're bringing it back, which it basically is just a nice way of saying things are going well with the Fox-Disney merger deal. Like, they're planning on winning it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's being battled over, like, in court and shit right now. To make sure
it hasn't been officially been approved, but it's most likely going to. It's just probably some complicated process. I'm sure there's lots of documents.
I'm sure there are.
Sign. I'm sure you would love to study them.
False. I would not. But so yeah, that's just a sign that things are going well. I would say that they're just going ahead and bringing back the Fantastic Four in the comics to warm them up for inevitably when they get to a movie.
Dude, don't make a movie. They need to just make Fantastic Four like a Disney Channel TV sitcom series.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, that's where Fantastic Four belongs.
Fuck you. They can make a good Fantastic Four movie. I bet it's being rumored. Well, yeah, definitely Marvel can. Marvel can do anything well, especially a Doctor Strange movie. It's been they're throwing the idea around of John Krasinski and Emily Blunt playing Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman. Isn't that something?
So since they've been in A Quiet Place, which has been a smash hit, is it now just like, okay, like they have to be in everything together?
Essentially, yeah, that's pretty much the reason. Although I don't hate that casting idea.
Hashtag relationship goals.
God, Jesus Christ. I don't hate their casting idea. I think it's just kind of like, yeah, I guess because they're
married
in the the spotlight right now. I would say they're just a popular choice because everybody likes them currently.
I don't know if I'd buy John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic.
You know, I don't know if I would either.
Yeah, like.
I mean, I don't know. I always thought,
we know he what does he really excel at? Like cringe comedy? That's all behind him now. He's not like dweeby Jim anymore.
I thought he was. Well, we'll get to his acting in A Quiet Place, but I feel like he has range-ish.
Kinda. I mean,
not like incredible range, but you know, he's an actor.
Yeah, I mean, like he did 13 hours. We'll talk about John Krasinski later.
Yeah. I just wanted to note that was being thrown around, and that's the popular fan cast right now.
As of right now.
Yeah.
Just get Ion Grufford back. He was fine.
Oh, yeah. For sure. You know, he wasn't terrible, was he?
No, he was fine. Like, I mean, he might be a little too old now. He might like look a bit older, but I mean, how old does Mr. Fantastic need to be? Like,
let's just get Miles Teller back. What a joke of a casting decision.
Yeah, they did. They went really young with that Fantastic Four.
I don't hate that. It's more like Ultimate Comics, not to get into comics, but like it's more of a younger take of them, and I'm not really interested in that. I like the Reed Richards with kind of some gray on the sides, you know? He looks a little bit older, he's a little bit more mature, they're not all stupid. Because Johnny's supposed to be the stupid one.
Speaking of Miles Teller,
sure.
I actually thought of a movie that he was in because I was listening to the newest episode of Sardonicast, and they brought up Rabbit Hole.
Oh.
And I was like, Rabbit Hole, that was a fucking terrible movie. And then I was like, oh yeah, that had Miles Teller in it.
What is Rabbit Hole about?
I think it came out in like 2011. It was kind of like an awards buzzy movie when it came out at that time. I think it's based off a play. And it's just about this couple that's trying to like move on with their lives after their kid gets run over by a car.
Yikes.
And like I'm pretty sure Miles Teller is the one who like ran over it, and he's all like shook up. They go to like meetings and
ran over it.
He like
the child.
Yeah, he like backs over it, and then like I don't really remember. It
was
was
the
just
child him or her?
It was a boy. It was their little boy.
You should refer from now on to the child as him. As opposed to it.
Well, the movie was just bad. I remember not liking it.
Fair enough.
Like, Nicole Kidman meets up with Miles Teller, and he's like, I wrote this graphic novel called Rabbit Hole.
What?
Yeah, it
sounds awful.
Yeah, it was bad. Like, it was kind of just like a, like...
It was shit, is what you're trying to say.
I remember not liking it. I think I rented it off pay-per-view, because I was like, oh, how dark.
Yeah. You know what, speaking of Nicole Kidman, you know a terrible Nicole Kidman movie that I think about like almost every day?
What?
Australia.
Ew. God, dude, I remember when that movie came out, I think it came out like, it definitely came out in the winter time, and like, it was Christmas and we were going to go see a movie, and I was like, yeah, let's just go see The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Yeah.
And I think my sister like was like, let's see Australia. And I was like, hell to the fuck no, we're not. And we didn't.
That is a long movie. I remember it being so long.
It's a sweeping epic that's going to win 11 Oscars.
It was awful.
And it didn't.
Did it win anything?
No.
Good.
No. Dude, Baz Luhrmann, he's a hack. Not really. I'm not a fan of his directing style. Make everything lavish and big and cheesy in a way. He did like Moulin Rouge, which I know a lot of people really like. He did Romeo and Juliet with like Claire Danes and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, sorry. You mean Romeo plus Juliet.
Yeah, that one.
You know what? I've seen that movie, and it is something because it's just really weird. Not good.
I remember my friend Cal was just like, dude, Leonardo DiCaprio is just god awful in that movie.
He's not
because they're all saying like Shakespearean words in like modern day, right?
Yeah, and it just does not work. Like I don't know. It's not meant to work really, but boy, it's awful. Like good lord.
His impression of Leonardo DiCaprio was like him crying, being like, "Why art thou so sad?" I don't know if that's an actual line or not, but Baz Luhrmann, he also did fucking The Great Gatsby, which was really like fluff.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, let's take this brilliant F. Scott Fitzgerald novel and just turn it into fluff.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of The Great Gatsby, the newest one.
Oh, me neither.
It's just too too stylized. And I guess it's meant to, but like they're playing Jay-Z at the party, and it's just like doesn't work. I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous. And it's kind of, I understand that it's supposed to be.
It's been forgotten about.
Yeah.
Basically, no one remembers that movie. It's like a great adaptation. To me, it's just like if you're making a Great Gatsby movie, why the fuck would you have like? There was like modern music in that movie, wasn't there? Wasn't there like dubstep like beats in it? And it's like this is a movie about the jazz age.
I don't
you should
recall
have just jazz and then like a traditional like film score.
I don't recall dubstep, but I can just remember the Jay-Z like that was constantly pounding throughout like each party scene, and it took me out of it. And I understand that like it's supposed to be like surreal and like whatever, but it's not. It just doesn't really work for me. I don't know. Maybe for some other people it's really great, but I don't really care for that.
Yeah,
my Great Gatsby. # not my Gatsby.
Are you more fond of the Robert Redford Great Gatsby, which was also critically panned at the time, and is apparently like awful as
I've
well.
never seen it.
Oh, me neither.
I've never actually seen any other Great Gatsby movie. I have read the book, but it's been quite some time. Pretty much the only thing that I remember about it was that he dies in the pool.
Yeah, he gets shot by Tom Buchanan, or does he kill himself?
Gatsby?
Yeah.
I remember that I thought that
I think he gets
I thought he was
murdered.
killed by someone else.
Yeah,
Just like not
Tom Buchanan.
Was it Tom Buchanan that kills him or just another person? I always figure I for some whatever reason I remember him dying at the hands of like somebody who was unrelated to the story and just ends up dying. But how does Gatsby die?
I'm pretty sure it's Tom Buchanan.
Is it? It could be. I'm not really sure. Gatsby does die in the novel. He was murdered by George Wilson because he believes that Gatsby was the man that was having an affair with his wife Myrtle.
Yeah, Myrtle.
And
she gets hit by a car.
Yeah, and then he was the one who killed her. Daisy actually killed Myrtle by accident, but in Gatsby's car.
Okay, so it was a character that I didn't remember.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't know. Anyway, Solo.
Yeah.
We're watching the Solo trailer.
To get back on track.
Yep, we just watched the Solo trailer. I don't know how long we're in or how far into this we are, but we watched the trailer for Solo: A Star Wars Story, the newest one,
which comes out pretty damn soon in like 6 weeks, 5 weeks.
It does. So we saw this trailer. It looks fine, but not really anything else other than that. It looks fine.
It looks like they sunk some money into it.
Well, it is Disney.
Yeah. Oh God. I honestly don't have much to say.
Fair enough.
Like, is there really anything to say?
Not really.
About this trailer?
You could speculate. You could go and make a video about all the Easter eggs that are in it. But you could do a lot of things. But we're not going to do any of those. I think it looks fine. And not really anything else other than that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Chewbacca's 190 years old. He was 200 in A New Hope. So this confirms that it's 10 years prior to A New Hope.
Okay. Shows him interact with another Wookiee. That's kind of cool. I don't think you've ever seen Chewbacca on a movie. Oh, well, on the screen.
Revenge of the Sith, we did.
Was Chewbacca in that?
He was.
Right, I remember there being Wookiees, but I don't specifically remember Baka.
Maybe it was a
Baka. Everyone calls him Chewie. What about Baka?
Maybe it was a deleted scene, but Yoda actually refers to him by name. Like, thank you, Chewbacca. It's very weird. Maybe that was a deleted scene, but I recall it being in the movie. But
what did you think of the music? It's like some like grungy, like jangly guitar.
Oh wait, yeah, I did. Sounds like it's trying to be like
rebellious.
I wouldn't say rebellious. I would say like
that sounds like that's Rogue One. Excuse me.
Yeah, I rebel.
How come that wasn't in the movie?
What, the rebel line?
Yeah,
because I knew it was terrible. The music reminds me of like I don't know, True Grit, the newest one with Jeff Bridges, and then it's like. Oh, it's like a Western, you know, it's small scale. It's a heist movie. It's whatever it is.
It looks dark and gritty.
Something rubs me the wrong way about Han Solo saying, "I'm a driver." It's like, no, don't say that.
Yeah, he's a pilot.
And then he just goes, "I'm a flyer." I'm like, hey,
you mean a pilot?
You could just say both of those and then it'll kind of encapsulate both. Whatever. How did you feel about him saying, I have a really good feeling about this? Well, he says that. I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of enjoy that. Just because it's like, oh, this is dumb. This is a stupid movie we're making.
I got a bad feeling about this. Whoa. I like the first trailer better because I like the line where he's like, I got kicked out of the academy because I had a mind of my own.
You sound like Drew when you say that. Say it again. I got kicked out of the academy because I have a mind of my own.
That's your Drew impression?
Yeah. I'm Drew. Drew Dietzen.
Yeah, I don't want to see this movie. I will.
Inevitably, my Drew impression will it will disappoint him.
I'd
He will not be pleased.
I'd rather watch Solo than Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's the movie I'm least looking forward to this summer.
I just don't think you have. I think you should start enjoying movies more.
Unless it has like some brilliant way into like tying into Infinity War or something.
Well, it's a prequel to Infinity War.
Well, okay. Yeah, Solo looks like it's a adequate product.
You should start enjoying cinema more. Feels like more often than not, you're hating everything. Do you even like movies?
I mean, they're just like, these like big ones. They're just like, they're just products.
Well, you really enjoyed the new Steven Spielberg product.
Yeah, I did.
It was fun.
Solo. Yeah, it looks boring. Honestly, it looks like a boring movie.
Yeah, was Mark Rylance doing an impression of Tommy Wiseau in Ready Player One?
No, I don't think so. Definitely not. I don't think
worlds.
I don't think they'd let him get away with that. Speaking of Tommy Wiseau,
sure.
When Franco didn't get nominated for an Oscar for the Disaster Artist, people are like, oh, it's because of the sex allegations or misconduct allegations. Franco is kind of a scumbag. Let's keep him out of the Oscars. Like, yeah, that's probably why. But also, it's like, did they really want Tommy being at the Oscars?
That's not why they did that, though. They did it because of the sex thing. Like, you were right.
Yeah, but let's say that wasn't a thing.
Okay.
Like,
and they exclude him?
Yeah, because it's like, do you really want to like represent Tommy at the Oscars? Like, fuck no. So remember at the Golden Globes, they gave him like a little like moment.
He almost had a moment.
Didn't they like applaud him as he was going on stage just like to be nice?
Pretty much. I don't think that. I think that these award shows grasp at anything like with any publicity like whatsoever, and I think Tommy Wiseau being at the award show would have been good press more so than bad. Because like
he wouldn't deserve to be there though.
Absolutely not. No, he wouldn't deserve to be there, but also how could you not invite him? The movie's about him, Yeah,
exactly. So don't nominate Franco.
I don't know. Fuck off. I don't think that's a real reason. I don't know. No, you're being ridiculous. You're being ridiculous, Collin.
I don't know.
I do. It's because Franco likes 13-year-old girls. That's it. And he likes to rape feet. Anally.
He's just a foot rapist.
Yeah. He's like Tarantino. Anyway, so Solo: A Star Wars Story. Let's watch it, I guess. What are we talking about? What are some other news that has hit the market recently?
We have a summer movie wager.
Oh yeah, we should talk about that.
In competition with the goons that We Bought a Mic.
It's not a competition. It's all fun and games.
It's not really competitive because for the summer movie wager, all you do is make your list and then you're done. Like, it's not like fantasy football where you're like switching out players and stuff.
I'll trade Infinity War for Solo.
Yeah. So Jacob hasn't made his list, but I've made mine.
I'm gonna make it eventually. I have a lot of stuff piling up on me right now, so whenever I get a free minute to focus on it, I will make it. How long do I have?
I think like a week or so. I'm not really too sure. Okay. Definitely before Infinity War comes out. But yeah, last year I fucking dominated everyone in it. I won. Not by much. I think by like a few points or something. It wasn't even like winning in the end. It wasn't until it was all like said and done. It was like, wow, you won. But we can talk about fuck. I mean, like, I don't really want to talk about my list because I'm still like against you. You could copy my list.
Yeah, you're so right. I'm not going to. I'm not going to copy your list, but I don't need you to say it either because at the end of the day, I don't really care. So, can we go over the guidelines, the rules, real quick for me? Explain how it works.
Well, you set up your top 10. I believe it's domestic grossing. If it's worldwide, then oops. I'm pretty sure it's domestic, but you set up your 1 through 10 movies from obviously number 1, highest grossing, to lowest, but you also have 3 slots for dark horses, which are movies that could potentially be big hits, but they're not locks. I'll share my dark horses. I put Hotel Transylvania 3, Mamma Mia 2, or Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, and Hereditary. Just movies that they might make some money, but not locks. I don't think anyone would break the top 10.
No, we saw a trailer for Hereditary.
Yeah, I'm really curious about that movie because it's a pretty good trailer as far as the way it's put together.
Yeah, I have no idea what it's about.
There's lots of dialogue in it,
mm-hmm.
which is kind of refreshing because I feel like in a lot of teasery type trailers, there's just some vague line that probably means nothing, and then cuts to black. But yeah, this movie Hereditary, it looks very interesting. It has Toni Collette, the drummer from the Naked Brothers band.
Oh, yeah, Nat Wolff.
Yeah, Nat Wolff is in it, who I guess is grown up to be a fine little actor. Yeah, I don't really know what this movie's about, but it's about this mother, played by Toni Collette. She has a daughter who's I don't know what to say.
Stupid.
Her. She's she's something with her face is kind of deformed, and she's very peculiar and deformed or something, and her mother dies, and I don't know, it has to do something with that. I read the synopsis on Wikipedia, and it has to do something that they're all doomed or something. I don't know. It looks weird though, and I want to see it because I want to know what it's all about. And I guess people have already seen it because there's critics raving about it.
It's a modern day Exorcist.
Yeah.
It's the greatest film of all time.
It's a masterpiece, and if it is good, and if it gets good word of mouth, it could become a hit. If people are oh my god, this movie's so fucked up, you got to see it. It's the new Sixth Sense. And I don't know, I feel the marketing for it's been pretty prevalent. I feel I've seen the trailer quite a few times since I've gone to see the movies.
Wow, nice. There were, when we went and watched The Quiet Place, there were quite a few trailers. I want to comment.
Yeah, it's 20. It's 20 minutes of trailers.
Yeah. Boy.
You know what? Before this, I kind of want to talk about the movie going experience.
Okay.
It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, it is.
Because I get to my movies early, and you want to know why? Because it's always a good idea. Because you get there, you have to wait in lines. People are just standing there. They're all kind of minding their own business. No one really interacts with each other at movie theaters. You know?
Yeah.
There is kind of it. I don't know. There's something kind of awkward about just a bunch of strangers getting together to watch a movie and being quiet. It's not the most sociable experience. Waiting in line. Everyone's just kind of keeping to themselves. But yeah, it just takes fucking forever. Then you get there and you wait in line at the concession stand, and then there's a premium line and no one's in it. And then when people are in the premium line, it's just as long as the other line, and it's well, what the fuck's the point?
I don't ever go in that premium line
because you don't want to look elite.
Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of feels sort of dickheadish.
I'm gonna go in the line
with $15
a
year. Yeah, I paid $15 a year just so I can fucking pass you motherfuckers. I don't know. It just seems sort of dickheadish to me. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know.
I guess you just don't want to be a douche.
That's pretty much it. I don't know. I feel if the movies are super busy and there are people in that line, I will get in that line. And you can come with me.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'll let you in. I don't know if they'll let that happen, though.
People are nasty at the movie theaters, dude.
Yeah,
people are gross. So, what
you let me in on your secret. On a secret you learned.
Yeah, about the popcorn. It worked too, didn't it?
It kind of did, yeah.
So
we didn't really exactly eat a lot of that popcorn, but regardless, we had a good time.
You did get a large one. And this movie that we went to see didn't really warrant just smacking down on popcorn.
It really didn't, did it?
So this probably wasn't the movie to buy an extra large. and I felt bad, so I bought you Snicker bites,
Thanks, man.
which is what I munch on during my movies.
Thank you. You know, for Ready Player One, I ate the entire fucking tub of large popcorn, and I saw that by myself.
Yeah, fuck, dude. I would have been, like, nauseous.
I felt kind of terrible after getting out of it, but it was just the joy of Spielberg that made me push through.
Maybe it wasn't the movie we enjoyed, it was our snacks.
That's a good point.
I hate it when critics are, like, doing a review of, like, a blockbuster, and, like, they always, like, bring up popcorn. As if that makes the movie better.
Yeah, it's a good popcorn flick. It's like, what? I mean,
it's just
you understand what they're saying.
Yeah. They're not literally talking about eating popcorn, but like they're always just like, yeah, I sat down, I had a blast with my popcorn.
When did popcorn become such like a staple of the movies?
I believe during the Great Depression, because it was cheap. And it became a cheap snack.
Are you being serious?
Theater. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I am. It was like
that's amazing that you know that.
Like, I want to say it started, I just, like, right off, like, I was like, well, actually, Jacob.
Yeah, you just answered that question right there.
During the Great Depression, movie theaters needed to make more money, and I believe popcorn was a cheap snack to come by, and they just made money selling that. And then, popcorn became a staple. And instead of being a cheap snack, it is now, like, expensive as all fuck.
You're right.
Dude,
man,
like,
you just answered that question. That's, wow.
Yeah,
you deserve this.
I know a few things.
Yeah, you do. That's pretty cool that you even, I don't know.
I mean,
did you learn that in school, or did you just, like, Google that?
I think I learned it on TV.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if they were, like, buttering it. They probably were. Or salting it. It could have just been plain as day, like, flavorless popcorn.
I doubt that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, I don't know that. I don't know if, I don't remember that being a thing. It was the Great Depression. Butter. You're using butter to, like, wash your family.
Yeah.
Let alone like, put it on food.
Wash your family.
Yeah, like a bar of soap.
Excuse me, sir. You need to wash your family.
Great Depression, it was a
terrible time in our country's history.
Yeah, it was. Especially if you were, like, a farmer.
Well, luckily, neither one of us were.
The Dust Bowl.
Oh, God.
You know?
Yeah. It's like the Interstellar intro, you know?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. How do you feel about that intro? I actually quite don't like it.
Is it when it's like, it's really inconsistent.
It seems like a documentary at first, and then it goes into the actual story. And it all ties back in later, because it's like, oh, it's actually a documentary from Matthew McConaughey's house in the future.
In a space museum.
Yeah, far in the future, but for the majority of the movie, that intro or that beginning of the movie just seems kind of out of place and weird.
You know, I will say Interstellar was a great movie theater experience.
Definitely. It's very suspenseful. It's very...
saw it on IMAX.
It's quite a... it feels epic.
Yeah, it did. That was a good one to see in theaters, for sure.
Definitely. I remember I was with my popcorn. We were having a great time at the movies.
I didn't have a popcorn, but I did buy a snack from the gas station that's right by my house, and it was like a bag of Welch's fruit gummies, which are the best, like, gummy snacks. They're amazing. They're not like crappy, like, Kellogg, like, Scooby-Doo shaped gummy snacks for,
I
like
the Scooby-Doo ones
for, like, a kid's lunchbox. Like, the Welch's ones are like
they're prime.
Yeah, they're
fire, as the kids say.
They're very good. They taste like they're made with some sort of real fruit. What are your favorite movie theater snacks?
My favorite movie theater, I mean, I'll go with classic popcorn, because, whatever. But I would say my favorite drink to get, I don't normally drink soda or sweet tea anymore. I drink water pretty consistently, but the movie theater is one of those few places where I allow myself to drink some soda, It's a special time. Movies are magical. And as a kid, I was always allowed to get a soda. And that was something that was always fun to me about the movies. So I always get a cherry Coke, especially with these Coke Freestyle machines that we have now.
Yeah, that's what I've been getting.
Pretty customizable. And I like that Like it's pretty much like here's a Coke and you can mix some cherry flavor in it or some grape flavor or whatever you want. And I like that it actually does taste like cherry Coke. Like it doesn't just taste like here's Coke with cherry in it. It actually tastes like the Coca-Cola issued cherry Coke. That's nice.
It's not Coke with like grenadine
Yeah.
added into it.
Yeah, I mean it might be, but it doesn't taste like it. It tastes like real cherry Coke to me, and that's cool.
Well,
but that's my favorite drink to get.
I always used to get bottle caps.
Oh.
Yeah, and it pissed off my friend because they were so loud when you eat. They were like, it was like eating glass. I think it was during Spider-Man 3. It was during like a really quiet scene. I was just like, I like bit into one, and like my friend's mom like looked over at me, and I was just it'd be great to have Casey be a guest on the podcast. He never would because he just would never have the time. But like,
what is he? Just the busiest man on earth?
Yeah, he's just busy. He'd just be like, nah, man, I don't have time for that fucking shit. But he would tell you a million stories about us going to the movies, and he would rant about. You just be like, this motherfucker would always have to eat goddamn bottle caps. He'd be getting like pissed, like literally angry. Dude, I have a funny story about him going to the movies, seeing Transformers. He wouldn't shut up as the movie was starting. He was like cracking some like dumbass jokes. This is when we were both like, I think we just turned 13. We were seeing it for my birthday. And he wouldn't shut up. It was either for this or Pirates of the Caribbean 2, but I'm pretty sure it was Transformers. So I punched his head because he wouldn't shut up.
Wow.
Yeah, I punched him like on like top of his head because he was pissing me off, dude. Like, shut the fuck up during the movie.
Yeah.
I have another quick little story to share. Please, that just reminded me of.
I have another one. I have one too myself that's very recent, but please continue.
It was in high school, sophomore year. It was me, Nick Johnson, and Greg Blackman.
Ooh.
We were all at the mall to go see a movie. We were going to see The Social Network.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The Andy Sorkin film.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Fincher.
Well,
is that Fincher?
Well, Sorkin wrote the screenplay. Yeah, I know. So
I know.
It's both of them. I think it's more appropriate to refer to it as a Fincher film.
Yeah, but
than as
it's a Fincher Sorkin film.
It's a Fincher film first, a Sorkin film second. An Eisenberg film third. Or a Zuckerberg film third. No, who knows? But
it's Eisenberg.
I was like really hyped to see this because like I knew it was going to be great, and the trailer for The Social Network was like amazing. I remember, and we were sitting down there to watch it, and Greg, he did like this thing where like I don't remember what Zuckerberg did on screen, but he went nerd right there in the movie theater, and I was so embarrassed that I got up and moved to the end of the aisle, and I didn't sit with them during the movie. That's so funny. I was so embarrassed and ticked off that he did that. I think it's when it showed him like wearing like his slides with no socks or something. Like I don't remember what specific moment, but it was very early at the beginning of the movie. Nerd. I was like, oh my god, Greg, what the fuck? So yeah, like I take my movie viewing experience very seriously. And
I could not imagine ever doing that. And I'm the guy who yelled out like 5 more minutes before Amazing Spider-Man 2.
That was before the movie though. The movie hadn't like stopped.
You're right. And I was building hype. I wasn't just ripping on a fictional character.
Oh, God, I was so embarrassed.
Oh my god, I cannot imagine a more like elitist thing to do.
Me?
No, like him.
Oh,
just calling out like a fictional character. You know what I mean? Like nerd. Like what? What?
He was trying to be funny.
Yeah,
I guess.
No one laughed. Did anybody laugh?
No.
Exactly.
God no. And then I sat and watched the rest of the movie, and it was good. It was pretty great. I kind of like, I don't know, I became very like
gay. Oh, my bad.
I became very backlashy on The Social Network. like the next year.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I think I was like, because when I first saw it in theaters, I was like, wow, that was an incredible movie, and it is a very good movie.
Look, that it is an incredible movie.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that,
it's a
pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie. I kind of want to rewatch it because I remember I was like super like hipstery douchebag and was like overrated. I think it was the Sorkin dialogue that kind of got on my nerves. Like the second or third time I'd seen it, and I was like, okay, this is like kind of like this is a bit like too like screenwriter jerk off ish.
Because like it might be, but at the same time, like Sorkin and Eisenberg work in that movie together very well.
It warrants like the tone and like general plot of the movie. Best part of it is the score, though.
You know what? You're right.
It is a groundbreaking score.
Did it win an Oscar for the score?
Yeah, it's Trent Reznor, aka
not
God,
aka Johan Johansson.
Well, excuse me, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. And Atticus Ross produced Coheed's fifth album.
Wow, that's common knowledge, Collin. Come on, get out of here.
Which isn't their best album, but I remember that blew my mind when I was on Wikipedia and I looked at who produced it, and I was like, Atticus Ross? This is like 2 years before he won his Oscar.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. I think you want to talk about You're the Snitch? How disturbing of an album cover it is?
I mean, I guess so. Yeah, we kind of can. As you may know, I'm a big Death Grips fan, and
I had no idea.
They announced their new album title, "Year of the Snitch," which at first I didn't like. It was just such like a weird title, but after a while, like it kind of like it's very unique. It doesn't sound like typical Death Grips album, "Year of the Snitch."
Yeah, you're right.
Like it does, like it's very unique, you know.
Yeah, it sounds like something different.
It's not a combination of words I don't think I'd ever like put in my brain before.
What do you mean, like let me name a fake Death Grips album.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't sound like stereotypical Death Grips. Like if you were to just be like, okay, like I'm gonna predict what a new Death Grips album is gonna be called. And I'll tell you how accurate you are, even though it's not a yes or no question.
It's just two words that are random, right? Pretty much. It's like slash pit.
Well, there's bottomless pit, but bottomless pit is like an actual thing.
Yeah,
like it's not too like random. Slash pit. Yeah, that would be kind of worrisome.
Slash hole. Anally. Anally broccoli. No. Anal broccoli.
Ew. Anally digital. Digital anus.
No, that's too much. I don't know. I don't know any album. What, The Money Store?
Yeah.
That's a unique title.
Ex-military. That's their mixtape. Which like it's their first album. People are like, it's their mixtape. The Money Store is their debut studio album. It's like, is there really a major difference between like, here's our mixtape that's like basically an album's length worth of music, but we didn't record it at a recording studio, so it's not technically our first album, even though it is.
Well, I think that a mixtape is more of like, you're more compelled to make a mixtape available for free.
Okay, yeah, because ex-military is free.
Yeah, you're not. Well, it's mostly because like you can't legally sell some of the songs on there because you sample and you don't get the samples cleared, so you can't really sell it. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
Logic does a lot of that on his first. He has 4 mixtapes before he did any albums, and he samples a lot of like Kanye, Tribe Called Quest, Outkast, and stuff like that. And he never asked permission to do it, so he's not allowed to sell those.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. That makes total sense now.
For sure.
I didn't know it was sampling.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big part of it on what makes a mixtape a mixtape.
Yeah.
You can't legally sell it.
Definitely. And like more often than not, artists nowadays, when they release a mixtape, it is basically an album. Like, but they just don't want to call it one. They don't want to have it included in their official like discography for albums. They like Childish Gambino did a lot of mixtapes back in the day, and he has samples that he probably did clear. or sold at some point, but he didn't want it included in his albums. And I feel the same way about EPs.
Yeah, I don't think the inclusion writer had passed yet.
Fuck you. I like EPs and stuff though. Like, what's the difference between an EP and an album? Usually, it's a lot shorter.
Yeah, it's like novella and a novel.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically it.
Essentially,
it's just like it's kind of just short. Like an album is roughly, I think, at the bare minimum, 30 minutes.
Yeah,
and that's a pretty short album
for sure.
An EP is like maybe 20 minutes. Sometimes it's like 10 minutes.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, The Weeknd recently released an EP.
And it's like, what, 20 minutes or
pretty
something?
Much, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me, yeah, see, like, Childish Gambino's EP, Kawaii, is 28 minutes long. And it's got 7 songs on it. But he doesn't want it included as one of his albums. He never released it on vinyl, but it's for sale. You can still buy it. But
can you think of any particular favorite EPs you might have? It's kind of a weird question.
Honestly, the most that I'm really aware of, I'm sure that I'm missing some of them, but I mean, I do enjoy the Kawaii EP that Childish Gambino released after Because of the Internet. And he co-released that with a mixtape too, so interesting there. But favorite EPs? Not really, honestly. Not really.
I can think of 2 that come to mind. These are just ones that come to mind. One is Vaya by At the Drive-In.
Okay.
That's pretty much every track on that EP is pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
And then The Perils of Time Travel by Thank You Scientist, which I think the EP is better than their debut album.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I think EPs just allow like artists to release music without being bound by the album title.
Yeah,
you know?
It's not like it's like hey, here's just like a bunch of like B-sides basically.
Yeah.
It's not like trying to make like a cohesive like listening experience.
Exactly. I like the idea of EPs and mixtapes, especially mixtapes, because mixtapes you can make it like album length, but then you can put whatever you want to on it, and usually not really care about. You know, you might. I'm just more thinking about like the Childish Gambino mixtape that I really like, which is Stone Mountain. He kind of just raps real hard on it, and it's clearly he didn't want to rap about anything that means too much. You know what I mean? He just wanted to let loose and have fun. And I think mixtapes allow you to do that a little bit more than albums do. Especially to people like Childish Gambino who care about like the meaning behind their albums and are constantly wanting to create like concept albums if they want to make something like that. So I think there's less pressure, so sometimes it might come out really well, you know?
I guess also releasing an EP is to like, hey, like this will hold over until like a new album comes out.
Definitely. The Weeknd's is very much like that to me. I think it's very short and sweet, and you know, it is what it is.
Doesn't he like weep during one of the tracks?
I don't think
Not
so.
Really.
I was like, I don't think so. But you know what? The fact that I can even answer that, and have to question it.
Yeah, you did. You didn't get that I was joking.
It's kind of
right
funny. No, I didn't. He clearly is calling out Selena Gomez.
Yeah.
Yes.
And some equestrian person.
Oh. No, I don't think that's what he meant by that.
Oh.
I think he was talking about equestrian because she rides well.
Okay.
Dick.
Yeah.
Yes. Penis.
Riding.
Like reverse cowgirl.
So to end this little music conversation, I guess,
sure.
I was at work and I was like, Jacob, I have something to show you.
Mm.
And Jacob's like, he looks at me like angry. He's like, what? What the fuck did you just say to me?
You talking to me?
Yeah, and I was like, I'm sorry, sir. But I show him this picture and he's like, what? He's like, what is this? What am I looking at? And it's like this table. It's like a patio table with like mouths like coming out of it, like sticking out of these holes.
Yeah.
With like their tongues poking out.
And you can see the teeth.
Yeah, you can see their teeth, and like it's clearly like photoshopped, and it's really like just kind of disgusting.
Yeah.
Generally, and you can see someone's hand on the end of the table. and it's like it looks like a giant bar of soap. And I was like, that is the new Death Grips album cover.
And my confusion was immediately...
You're like, that makes
just,
sense.
Yeah, no, everything made sense at that point. It's kind of funny.
Your confusion was completely gone. Are you looking at it?
I'm looking for it. It's not readily available.
I didn't really know what to think of the album cover right away. I don't think it's as good as the album cover for Bottomless Pit, which kind of has like a similar style where it's just a picture with no words or anything on it.
Yeah.
But it's it gets me excited for the album because to me it says like, okay, like this is probably just going to be like a straightforward like Death Grips album, I guess. Maybe not like too much of a curveball, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so.
I mean,
it's not as gross as their Sharpie sketched Slong album cover.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. It's the one that's just a penis.
Yeah, that's the most infamous one. I have that on vinyl.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I do see
sometimes I masturbate to it.
Do you? That's intriguing. I'm looking at this cover. Yeah, it's a very very gross cover.
Yeah, it's kind of nauseating.
Yeah, there's like it's like different perspectives and stuff, and like there's
it's it's stupid at the same time. It's just so dumb. Yeah. It's like the stupidest fucking album cover like idea that you could make.
Yeah,
it's kind of the dumbest fucking thing, honestly.
Looking at it, it does kind of look like the mouths are there. It's not as badly photoshopped as you think. I mean, like, it looks like the mouths are really there, and it's not really a coffee table. It's kind of just this...
It looks like a bar of soap.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Like, you could break it with your hands.
Yeah.
Interpret it, Jacob. Interpret it. I don't think it's meant to be interpreted.
No, I don't think it is either. I think it's just something weird. Like, it's just weird for the sake of being weird.
I think it's weird to the sake of, like, grossing people out. And, like, just making people go, like, ugh. Like, making them feel kind of, like, sick.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
If it was weird for the sake of being weird, I don't think it would be as effective, I guess. Effective as in just being like, well, ew, gross.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not really a huge Death Grips fan myself. I'm more a fan of like their mystique and like the how cryptic they are, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah, but anyway, looks fun. Looks like it's gonna be a good time.
I'll be reviewing it on the podcast.
Please do.
Even though music isn't pop culture, as I once slandered on.
So long, Screwy. See you in St. Louis.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
Yep.
Which I meant like, it's kind of just like it's completely different pop culture than like movies and TV shows. That's what I meant by it.
I would agree with that. Yeah. I think that
it's in its own fucking field.
Yeah.
Where was Michael Jackson in Ready Player One? Where was Slash? Didn't see any of those guys.
Well,
see what I mean? Like it's just completely different. There was Rush references in Ready Player One, but those were like posters and T-shirts.
I would say that music has its place in pop culture for sure.
It does, but I think what I meant is that it's just completely different. It has a different type of culture to it. Like if you're fans of like certain bands and shit, like it's not gonna like correlate. Like, oh, you must like science fiction, you know?
Well,
as in where if you like Star Wars, you probably like Star Trek and like superhero movies and stuff. Like, you know, it all kind of goes together. Like, hey, if you like this stuff, you probably like that stuff. With music, it's different. Like they don't really cross. Well, even though movies are in TV shows and movies, music is score.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, well, I guess I do see what you mean, because, like, if you play, say if you play, like, Galaga,
okay, all right,
you probably are more prone to like Star Wars.
Possibly, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
If you're like, wow, cool spaceships.
Yeah, I mean that's making a massive generalization, but like
yes, it is.
it's
but it's a fine generalization. Like, oh, you probably like sci-fi.
Yeah, that's kind of the leap that I'm getting from that, and it makes sense too, and it's probably true.
And then
but like if you
like sci-fi, then maybe you like Alien, and if you like Alien, maybe you like other horror movies
for sure. But like, couldn't you link everything to that? You could get to every movie. It's like the Kevin Bacon rule. Like you could just get to every single movie, and not everybody likes everything.
I'd say like genre movies.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think it's
I'm just a fan of generalizing everyone.
Yeah, for sure. And you don't feel like that you can generalize through music as well. Like you can't make the leap from, oh, if you like Star Wars, you must like
Kendrick Lamar.
Rush. Yeah, like no, it's not really like that. I guess that means like movies are kind of for everybody, despite like musical taste. Because like a lot of rappers love Star Wars, but that doesn't, just because you like Star Wars doesn't mean like you like rap, and vice versa. Just because you like rap doesn't mean you like Star Wars. It's not, but like, then again, Darth Vader's referenced quite frequently in hip hop. Granted, it's easy to rhyme it, but is that just because it's easy? Just because it's rhymable. Skywalker is a very unique, it's a unique term. It's very pop culture-y.
You can sample Darth Vader's breathing, put on a loop. Yeah, just like that.
Yeah. That's it. Have you heard about this Yodel boy?
No.
Oh boy, we're gonna play it.
Yoda boy?
Yodel. Yes.
Like yodel hee hoo.
Kinda, yeah. It's Yodel boy. Yodel kid, also known as. It's a new meme rolling around the internet right now. You're gonna hate it.
Because I hate memes.
Essentially, yes. Basically, this child in a Walmart, he's a very country child. He was yodeling, just kind of in the middle of Walmart, singing a song, kind of country, and tapping his foot. It's pretty terrible. I guess he's talented in some way. Not really my cup of tea, frankly. It's not really Kendrick Lamar, so I'm not about it. But some people will enjoy this thoroughly. But it's become a meme. Do you want to hear
Is he ugly?
He's a kid. I can't really call it. He's a young boy. I'm not gonna say he's ugly, but he's not. I wouldn't date him, but that may be because he's probably 8.
I don't know what I do. All I do is say oh Lord, that last day she said goodbye. Well, Lord, I thought I would cry. She do me, she do you. She's got that kind of loving. Lord, I love to hear when she calls me sweet Daddy. Such a beautiful dream.
Isn't that something? It sounds like a thing.
Well, that certainly was something.
Yeah. How did that make you feel?
It was very high pitched.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he's a young boy. That's how he does it.
That's what stuck out to me the most.
Fair enough. It sounds like a woman at first, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like a little old lady.
Yeah, not to insult him though. I mean, obviously.
I mean, why is it a meme?
Because the internet's stupid. I don't know why it's become a meme, frankly.
Are people like, oh, look at this stupid redneck kid in a Walmart?
It kind of does feel like they're making fun of him a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure why I brought that up. I just kind of thought about it. I don't know. It's interesting. I just, want to bring that up.
This is why I shop at Target.
Honestly, though, only a Walmart would house something like this. This would never happen at a Target.
No, probably not.
You know what would happen at a Target? You bump into a suburban mother
who's like stealing shit.
Yeah, and then
you caught me.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and you wouldn't even be trying to accuse her of it either. She'd just be like, "Oh, you caught me," and then would leave. That's what would happen.
Yeah,
that's the craziest experience that could possibly occur at a Target. You bump into someone and they drop something, and then you both are like, "All right, well, sorry about that," and then you move on.
Or you go into Target, you look at The Last Jedi on Blu-ray, you see it's $24.99, and you're just kind of like, I don't really want to spend that much money on Star Wars. And then you
This
just put it
seems like a
back,
real
and then
personal
so
experience
then
that
you
you
just
went
put
through.
it. Then you just put it back on the shelf, and then you walk out and you leave empty-handed.
This seems like something you did.
Yeah.
Oh, you did that?
Yeah.
Wow, that's sad. I'm sorry about that.
So, should we go ahead and jump into this week's latest movie review?
Yeah, we should, but first, we have to go back to our sponsor. Kidding, what was our sponsor this week?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
It was
either.
something dumb.
Yeah.
Solo
I mean, I made
or
it up.
something?
It wasn't Solo. I can't remember what I did. Anyway, this week's episode is also brought to us by the new Bella Thorne and Patrick Schwarzenegger film, Midnight Sun, in theaters at some point.
Yeah, Jacob has the poster of it now because remember when AMC would like hand out cool movie posters?
Yeah.
But now they're just like, oh, no one wants a Quiet Place movie poster, or I guess it's all part of probably like the promotion or something. Like, why not like have like Last Jedi posters out to grab?
Yeah.
Like it makes sense. But no, let's do Midnight Sun. Patrick Schwarzenegger.
I didn't even know it was a person.
He like I said there has to be some relation to Arnold, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I think so.
He doesn't look very big though.
Allow me to read his bio to you. Patrick Arnold Shriver, sorry. Patrick Arnold Shriver Schwarzenegger.
Arnold Shriver.
Yes.
Oh, Shriver.
Yeah.
So he is related to him.
Yes. Is an American actor and model. He's the elder son of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver.
There we go.
A member of the Kennedy family.
Are they
as
sure?
well.
Are they sure he's a Shriver and not like his maid nanny?
I'm sure that there is. Yeah, I'm sure he is. He's the elder son of Arnold and Maria, a member of the Kennedy family. Schwarzenegger is also a great nephew of John F. Kennedy, the 35th president of the United States.
What?
Yes.
Say that again.
He is
Arnold?
also a great nephew of John F. Kennedy, the 35th president of the United States. Did you know that John F. Kennedy was a president of the United States, first and foremost?
Yes.
Okay,
I didn't know he was related to Arnold.
Yes, he is. As well. Hey, there's more. As well as the late United States Senators Robert F. Kennedy and Ted Kennedy.
Okay, like, obviously.
Yes. Okay, well, fuck you. How not? How is he related? Because Maria Shriver's related to them.
Oh, so Arnold's not related.
No.
All right, that's what I thought.
Austrian man.
Yeah, that's why I was like, what? Like, what? Like, huh?
No. Yeah, so that's all I'm going to go into Patrick Schwarzenegger. But he's in this film, apparently.
Midnight Sun.
Yes. And
about a girl.
Poster from which I picked up.
About a girl who can't go outside during the day because she's, like, sickly or something. She can't.
Is that really what it's about?
Yeah, she can't be in sunlight.
Midnight Sun. Oh, I get it now. I get the title.
Midnight Sun was actually the title of, like, a leaked Twilight book by Stephanie Myers. And from what I understand, it was Twilight from Edward's perspective. Pretty sad that I know this. And it was leaked and it was never published.
That's weird, actually.
Yeah. Midnight Sun.
Huh. Midnight Sun. Let's go through Patrick Schwarzenegger's career. It's pretty short, to be quite real with you.
I'm not too shocked.
Yeah, at the age of 10, he played a little role in the movie The Benchwarmers. Didn't know that. Throughout his childhood, he practiced acting with his father. I don't know how you practice acting with your dad. He spent a great deal of his childhood in the film studios of L.A. At 10, he also held his father's booth at the Arnold Sports Festival. Don't know what that is.
My dad's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Bitches.
He could beat your dad up.
Yeah.
I bet that argument was not.
Yeah. You think he's like, my dad has millions of dollars.
My dad's who your dad wanted to be.
He's like, I grew up in a financially stable home.
Oh, God.
I'll never have to worry about money. I grew up in privilege. I grew up in a bubble.
Wow.
If you're growing up in LA and like your parents are fucking celebrities, you're living in a bubble, in my opinion.
Speaking of everything you just said, I want you to just savor this next paragraph I'm about to read to you.
Is it going to justify what I just said?
Yes, it will. Schwarzenegger's parents helped him found his company, Project 360, when he was 15 years old. Yeah, but wait, there's more. The philanthropic clothing line has a full menswear collection on the horizon, as well as mid five figures net earnings from 2010, when he was, I assume, like 10 years old, which has according to Details Magazine, that's all of that. Patrick is also signed with LA Models, which has plans to push him for Ralph Lauren and Armani ad campaigns.
Well, fuck you, Patrick.
Yeah. He has stated that he hopes to raise awareness of his clothing company by taking on high-profile modeling jobs. So essentially, by the time he was 15 years old,
he had a company.
He had a company
in his name.
Yes,
I'm sure he wasn't running it. It was more like name recognition.
I'm sure, but it doesn't matter. What did you have when you were 15, Collin?
I had a fucking learner's permit.
I had that too.
I had a cell phone.
I don't even know if I had that. I think I had that, but I shared it with my sister.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Dude, when I got my first cell phone, it was like a shitty Go phone that was a knockoff of a BlackBerry.
Oh.
I had that phone for like 5 years.
I mean, you know what? I had an iPhone 4 for like a good 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, just the 4, not the 4S. Don't get crazy in this bitch, right? And then the next thing I went to was the 5S. And then I was like, wow, I'm living the dream, really. And I kept it for like 2 years, and it kind of pooped out on me. And then I have my 7 now. Yeah, so I don't really... I'm more a fan of getting like the older version and just having it for a while. Just because I'm cheap, and
that's what I did.
Yeah, I don't feel the need to get the newest thing. I know that that's really for some people. That's what you want to do. You want to get the newest, hottest thing. If you have the money for it, that's totally awesome. But I don't know. I have other things that I need to do with my money, like save it. So, because I'm broke. But yeah, that's what I do anyway. So I'm not gonna go in any more detail about Patrick Schwarzenegger's life.
Yeah, fuck you, Patrick.
Yeah, fuck this guy.
Yeah, dude, if you're
a dick,
if you're growing up in LA with a wealthy celebrity family,
yeah,
like you live in a bubble. I read an article that Mark Wahlberg from like a long time ago.
Yeah,
and he was basically like, yeah, celebrities like they don't live in the same world as you and I. Like he was like saying, like you could say that he was being like elitist douchebag, but I think he was right. He was like, yeah, like they're like out of touch.
I mean, I believe it.
Yeah, like he's absolutely right. He's like,
Yeah.
they don't live the same lifestyle as like blue collar people. And I think Mark Wahlberg, he probably grew up in like Boston poverty or something, and he can probably recognize that.
Yeah.
Than like someone who's always lived in LA.
Well, you know what I'm discovering now? There are more middle class actors than I initially assumed. Because a lot of legislation, not to get political, has been passed recently involving tax stuff, and a lot of actors are promoting it, and some of them are like, hey, just so you know, this tax cut will like only help the rich, and just to also let you know, I'm not really rich. I'm more of middle class, if you want to say it like that, like higher middle class, like, but still like, I think that there are a lot more middle class actors out there than we want to say there are. You know what I mean?
Well, of course, not everyone's Robert Downey Jr.
For sure.
Or The Rock, who get paid like a minimum of like, well, for Robert Downey Jr. in the MCU, it's a minimum of like $40 million.
Yeah.
Which is insane, but granted how much money that these fucking movies make, I guess it's kind of, you would want to get paid that much. You're like, hey, I'm the face of like your movie.
Yeah.
Imagine if Robert Downey Jr. was just like, yeah, I'm gonna leave after like Avengers 2. Marvel would be shitting their pants. They'd be like, what?
Well, it's because his contract was up at some point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his contract was up, and this is how cool Robert Downey Jr. is. Allegedly, he requested more money for himself, but also he requested that every one of his co-stars gets a raise too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they granted it because they were basically, he just bent them over backwards. Basically, I mean, he's Robert Downey Jr. You need him, and that's when Marvel came out. Kevin Feige was like, "Yeah, we're not afraid to recast Tony Stark," and RDJ called their bluff, and they bent. Because, they are afraid to recast him. That would not go over well. They'll probably sink their franchise. I'm totally honest.
Yeah, you can recast.
Who are you going to recast him with? Tom Cruise? That would go over not swimmingly.
People won't notice. So who are these middle class actors? I mean, like anyone surprising? Like who? Like Sally Hawkins?
No, I think
You think she gets paid just like
I don't know how much
you think she
they
just
make.
gets you think she just gets ass loads of money, or like did she just get a boner?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that why the whole table just like thumped up?
Yeah.
Were you
Well,
thinking
how
about?
big do you think my penis is?
I mean, what were
I'm
you thinking
fairly
about?
far from this table.
Were you thinking about
Sally Hawkins' naked body in
yeah, the
Shape of Water.
Water.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought about. I thought about her egg timer.
Or
Masturbation. I don't know. I think what comes to mind typically is probably like
that guy from Captain Phillips.
what, the African man?
Yeah, the Somalian guy.
Yeah, he hasn't been getting work, has he?
Wasn't
Wasn't he in something like recently?
He was in Blade Runner, and he was in A Good Time.
Oh, he was in Blade Runner?
Yeah.
What was he in Blade Runner?
He like analyzed the wooden horse, and I think he spoke a different language.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. He probably spoke that like that weird
Somalian.
No. The Blade Runner language that's like it's like a mishmash of German and American. I don't know. What's the Blade Runner language? Harrison Ford says it right before he says the N-word in Blade Runner 1.
Replicantian.
Yeah. Language. Blade Runner language. I
don't remember their
city speak.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a mix of English, German, Arabic, Japanese, Hungarian, and standard Cantonese. Of course. What else?
So
yeah.
With a movie like A Quiet Place, where you have John Krasinski, and Emily Blunt, who are married, do you smell some sort of fleecing money into their household? 'Cause that's what Rob Zombie does. He puts his wife in everything. That's more income for a family.
Definitely, yeah. Well, I think that honestly, I'm sure that they're getting a lot of money from this. I'm positive they are. I'm sure they're doing quite well for themselves. Better than they were before he did this. Obviously, you know.
I have no clue. Like,
I presume I presume he was more of a middle class actor before he got roles in like 13 Hours and stuff like that. I assume that he was like during the time of The Office and stuff like that. I assumed he was kind of just a middle class actor. Like, you know, The Office I'm sure brought in a good amount of income for him, but it probably was nothing blow your mind. It certainly wasn't 40 mil. It was likely very modest. I always kind of got that vibe from him. You know what I mean? You can't really make generalizations about someone's income just from how they act, but I'm going to do it anyway because fuck everything. So anyway, what was the question again? I don't remember. Jim Krasinski, how the income is coming into his house. Yeah, I bet he's making a bunch of money now because of him and Emily Blunt. I'm sure that he's going to keep casting her in his movies because, I mean, why wouldn't he? She's a good actress, you know?
I mean, are we really expecting, like, more movies directed by John Krasinski? This isn't his first film, either.
No?
No, from what I understand. I'll look it up.
Well, I'm sure that how is his track record? Oh, God, man.
I mean, everyone just knows him as Jim from The Office.
You're right.
When we went and saw A Quiet Place and it was starting, this, like, meathead dude sitting next to me leaned over to, I guess, his girlfriend and was like, just pretend it's Jim.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I was like, shut the fuck up. Like, God damn it. Shut up.
God, that's funny. Alright, he directed... Alright, let's see.
Directed, The Social Network.
Fuck you. Alright, he directed A Quiet Place, The Haulers, a couple episodes of The Office, and then he directed something called Brief Interviews with Hideous Men, which is from 2009.
That sounds oddly familiar. I don't know why.
It is the directorial debut of John Krasinski.
It was also written by him.
Yeah.
Is it based off a novel?
I don't know. Yeah, it was written by him and David Foster Wallace.
Yeah, it is based off of a novel.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. A graduate student copes with a recent breakup by conducting interviews with various men. That sounds at least somewhat intriguing. How was it received? A 5.6 out of 10. That's typically not very good.
They're like, make a monster movie.
Yeah.
We'll show your chops.
How was The Haulers received? I want to know that. That's what I want to know.
Probably not that amazing, because we've never heard of it.
It's a 6.5 out of 10. I actually have heard of The Haulers. It has Richard Jenkins in it, Anna Kendrick, Randall Park.
Wow, what a star-studded cast!
Right, Charlie Day, star of Pacific Rim Uprising, in the villainous role of Kaiju Man. I don't know. I don't know how this was. I'm sure it was fine. Actually, I'm sure it was just fine. Let's see. The Haulers, Rotten Tomatoes. I'm sure it's shit. Let's see.
Oh, Jacob, you're so cynical.
Yeah, sure it is. Oh, well, it was rotten. 44%. There you go.
But now look at A Quiet Place. It's at what, like a 107 or something?
Yeah, something like that. 99%. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about John Krasinski as a director. I hope that he ends up being great, truly. And I hope he directs more, because he shows promise here.
Yeah.
Let's just get into the review.
It's not like Jordan Peele, though.
No, where you come out and the first movie
you're like,
you direct
wow,
is phenomenal.
Like, wow, what a vision.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about A Quiet Place.
Yep.
It's about this movie where you gotta shut the fuck up while watching the movie.
And
it engages you as an audience to shut the fuck up.
It does, doesn't it?
Which is
there
nice.
was a lot of movement in our theater, I noticed.
Movement?
Yeah, like movement. People moving around, like shuffling their papers, I suppose. They had papers that they were shuffling. They were just...
Alright, so me and Jacob saw A Quiet Place, as I'm sure you're sure that you're aware of. Will you stop doing that? Alright, yeah, like you could hear that type of stuff in the theater. Just people like... Oh, he's dead. Oh, you better not make a noise. They're gonna get you. Can you imagine if there's just some guy, like, cynically saying all that? Oh, I knew it.
Oh, what I forgot to mention earlier, during Ready Player One, the movie was starting. The second time I watched it, the movie was starting. And, this guy in front of us told very politely, but very matter-of-factly, these people in front of him to shut up.
Well, good.
Yeah, it was pretty epic, too, because they were talking, and he was like, excuse me, when the movie starts, can you guys please not talk anymore like that? And then they turned around and were like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, no, I'm just asking right now for you to stop talking during the movie.
Oh, I can't stand...
That's pretty dope.
I can't stand when people talk during movies.
I actually almost shook his hand, but then I think I've served him.
Really?
Fuck, I said it. Damn it.
It's always you who says it. So anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, that happened. So, The Quiet Place.
There was a guy sitting next to you, and I don't know why, he creeped me out.
He creeped me out too.
Yeah, dude, there was like a part where like, kind of like, at the beginning of the movie, he like got up, and he started like shuffling down the aisle holding the rail, and it was like the most like, it was more disturbing and unsettling than anything in the movie.
I agree. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? I was like, is
this guy about to just start like shooting everyone?
Dude, I thought the exact same thing. That's amazing. That's amazing that we were both on that level. No, I was afraid. Yeah,
It's sad that that's where our like mind has to jump. But like, it was creepy because it's like, what is he doing?
He had like a metal like container, like a canteen or something. It was really weird that he even got that into the movie.
I didn't notice that.
I did, because he set it down and was drinking out of it. But like, I thought the same exact thing.
You mean a flask?
I don't. It might have been a flask. I don't even know why I thought canteen. It was almost certainly a flask. But yeah, like he gets up and walks down the aisle and like inches his way down the steps, holding like
the rail.
I imagine like a death grip. Death
Oh,
grips, yeah,
cool.
on the railing, and it was really loud and very noticeable.
All right, to be fair, this guy was probably just minding his own business,
Probably.
going to see a movie.
Yeah,
But
and we were probably just assholes.
what's
being
with
afraid
this
of,
guy?
I thought the exact same thing though. I was like, what if he just opens fire?
Yeah, it's kind of disturbing.
Yeah, it is. It was a little unsettling. So that was, and just other than, I got used to it eventually, the quietness of the movie. But it does. It's not really.
Let's back
No,
up. Let's back up.
I'm still talking about the movie going audience, like the
Oh,
experience.
oh.
But I got used to that. But it just, at first the audience's noise that you inevitably would hear during a movie like Ready Player One, like people muttering and stuff like that, and things like that happening. They were toned down as the movie went along. I felt like, because people sort of got, oh, there's not a lot of dialogue in this thing, so I need to shut the fuck up and not move very much.
You think there's someone like watching this movie and they're just like, why aren't they talking?
Probably. I bet this movie's a deaf man's, dream, honestly.
Yeah.
Probably. I noticed that when there were scenes where the music or the score were increased a drastic amount, you and I both took opportunities to drink our sodas.
yeah,
Yeah.
like synchronized whenever there was like noise of some sort. Like,
yeah, and like munch on the popcorn and stuff like that. Because otherwise, you can't do it. It's really not a good popcorn movie
unless you're by yourself in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
But Jacob, what is this movie about? What's the plot? What's the deal with this film?
It's about a rural family. That comes into play. And this family is, they're living on their farm or whatever, and something is awry. They're in a post-apocalyptic world, and the world has been ravaged by things, if you will. Creatures. And it's just about their struggle to survive in this world where you basically can't make any noise. And it's about the family is comprised of John Krasinski as the husband, Emily Blunt as the wife,
an actual deaf girl.
Yes, an actual deaf girl, and a boy who is not deaf,
and then another
little boy, yes, who is in the movie for a very long time.
All right, so spoiler-free thoughts.
Yep, spoiler-free thoughts. I thought this movie was fine, and here's why. I think it feels like a very short movie. It feels like a short film more than anything, really.
It is a short movie.
Yeah.
It's about an hour and a half long.
It didn't even feel like a feature-length movie, though. It just felt like a Vice short film.
Well,
that would debut on like a YouTube channel or something. And it didn't really feel like a real movie, and it just kind of
as in like a full-fledged concept, you mean? Obviously, it's a movie, like the quality.
Yes,
and everything.
For sure. But I agree with you. It doesn't really feel like a actual plotted movie, because it really, there is no plot in this movie. There's not a climax. There's really not. It's just kind of things happen and then the movie ends.
Yeah, and it has like a first and third act basically.
Yeah,
and the third act
second.
starts like, I guess, like halfway through the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
and I guess some people would view that as a positive, but I didn't know where we were in the movie. You know what I mean? Like when the movie ended, about 10 minutes before that, I was thinking like, I bet we're about halfway through this thing now.
Yeah.
And it
I didn't think we were halfway through it. I knew the movie was going to be a bit shorter.
I didn't know.
I knew the runtime was like an hour and a half. I usually look up the runtime before seeing a movie.
I never do. So
actually, almost always.
I never really do. So I was kind of taken aback when this thing ended, because I don't know, I might have been a little disappointed because it's very abrupt. And it sort of ends, and there was no.
It's not a good movie. It's not a good ending. Sorry.
No, it's actually, on the contrary, it's quite a bad ending.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
That is not how to end a film. We'll get into that when we discuss spoilers. I thought this movie was fine, decent.
Sure.
I wasn't wowed by it or anything. I I was a little underwhelmed overall. I wasn't quite on the edge of my seat like other audience members were, because I felt like the whole suspense kind of meanders after the first 5 minutes, because you gradually just kind of like get used to it.
Yeah,
you know?
the silence, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. You do get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
It yeah, it
It's
wears off.
But it's not a boring movie either.
No, absolutely not. I was never bored.
It is an entertaining movie, but I wasn't like wowed by it. And I felt like the whole concept of like, all right, you can't make sound.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like, I don't know, I felt like there was nothing really that like really derived out of it. As far as the concept goes, to make me like go like, wow, this is really clever. It's occasionally clever. Like, okay, like they walk on like sanded paths. They don't wear shoes. So there is like attention to detail and stuff, but I felt like, I don't know, I feel like it could have been more clever or something. I don't know. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
I feel like it could have too.
Like the whole like full-fledged like concept.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Like nothing really snowballed off of it.
I enjoy that. There was a part where the boy, the older boy, he's pretending to drive the truck that's out there, and he crawls in through the window so he doesn't have to shut the truck door, because that would have made sound.
Yeah,
I noticed that. That's something that you can remember. That's something that plays with the concept of you can't make any noise. So like, here's things that you do normally that would make noise. Eating, stuff like that. I don't know. What do they do for eating? They did something special.
They don't use plates.
That's right.
They use like lettuce,
mm-hmm.
basically. Like a fat thing of like lettuce, and they eat with their hands.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. They played Monopoly with like knitted
like
characters. Yeah. And then apparently they have lanterns right next to them so that they make any abrupt movement, they will knock it over.
Even though they have electricity, there is lights, so I guess they don't really need to use the lanterns unless their electricity got shut off.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. Guess for decoration. No, actually, no, it's for the plot that doesn't exist. It
does have a plot. It's just not like plot heavy.
I don't think it is. I don't really think it is a plot. It just. Yes, there is a plot, okay, but there's not an objective. There's not a place to go. It's not, you know what I mean? It doesn't have anywhere that it goes.
It's a little slice of life movie. It's like a Richard Linklater film with monsters.
I guess. It's just, usually in movies like this, you'd have them. They have to venture out and do something. They have to, like in The Mist, we noted that it's very similar to The Mist in some ways. Especially like, I think monster design is one.
Yeah,
somewhat.
It's like The Mist, it's like Signs.
It's like especially similar to Stranger Things in the monster design itself. To me. It is like War of the Worlds in a couple parts.
Yeah, sure.
The newest one,
like
obviously.
The basement.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought of that too. Whenever,
yeah.
A creature's lurking through the basement. It reminded me of War of the Worlds, when you first see the aliens.
Yeah, War of the Worlds does it better.
Well, of course, it's fucking Spielberg.
Yeah. That movie's good. The movie's not even that good, but like...
War of the Worlds?
Yeah.
Dude, I saw it in theaters when I was 10. I thought it was the most, like, amazing thing I had ever seen in my life.
It's pretty cool. That's a cool movie.
I haven't watched it in a long time. It's pretty, like, nostalgic, though. The beginning was... It's pretty good. It's just the thing with his son, Tom Cruise's son, like, Dad, I'm gonna join the military.
Yeah.
I think that's
really
that's kind
angsty and dumb.
Yeah, that's...
And was not in the book. Obviously, though, that movie is not really based on the book too much.
No.
The tripods and the ending are pretty much the only the book has in common. The book doesn't even have a character with a name.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean,
you never learn the main character's name. It's like narrator or something. That's what he's called. Anyway. So,
were you scared by A Quiet Place?
I was never scared once. No.
Were you on the edge of your seat?
Not really either.
I'd say I was at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Once the movie started, when the movie starts, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, here we go.
There were a couple jump scare moments that kind of got me a little bit.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Made me, like, jump just because they're jump scares and they're kind of just tasteless.
But
whatever.
like during that first scene where it's all quiet, like it's pretty like that's the best scene in the movie. Is the beginning.
The one in the
first
store.
Yeah, the first like 10 minutes roughly.
Yeah,
that's
they're
the best.
pretty good.
That's the best part of the movie.
I agree.
Everyone's like, all right, everyone, shut up.
But the suspense just kind of dies out after at one point in that 10 minutes it dies.
Yeah. After the first scene in the movie,
Yeah.
it generally starts to like kind of go down.
Yeah.
And there are some like good concepts for suspense that is pretty clever, but it was in the trailer.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to spoil it because it was in the trailer and I was expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
Is when Emily Blunt, she's pregnant and she's like giving birth. And,
yeah,
like,
but
she can't make
I
a
didn't know
noise.
that she was pregnant beforehand. I never knew.
Really? See, I knew that from the trailer.
I had only
knew
seen
that was
the
a
first
thing.
trailer though, but I didn't know that she was
Yeah.
pregnant. Maybe
Like-
that was in the second trailer.
Yeah, like her in the bathtub was like in one of the trailers, and I
yeah,
was like,
I
wow,
saw her
it's-
in the bathtub, but I figured she was just hiding, but I didn't notice her being pregnant. I
Like
I
that-
always thought, I was like, how would they? Well, as soon as it's revealed that she's pregnant, I'm just like, how the fuck would they do this?
Yeah, because you're
babies cry.
expecting her to like die
Yeah.
as soon as she's born. So that was
Yeah.
a pretty cool idea.
Mhm.
As a woman, that must be pretty terrifying to think about.
Absolutely, yeah.
That it's
Not
pretty-
making like a noise.
Yeah.
It's
not as terrifying as Freddy Got Fingered though. When a woman's giving birth and it's Tom Green, this like laughing maniac, and the woman's just screaming because he's about to deliver her baby.
yeah. And
That's
then he
more-
like swings it around
Yeah.
by its umbilical cord.
Yeah.
Jesus. I told Alex about Freddy Got Fingered, and I
Had
told her
she
how like
seen it?
wrong Red Letter Media's review of it is. It's just Mike's an idiot. Like, has he lost his mind?
I guess so.
It's not. It is not as meaningful as he thinks it is. Absolutely not. It's not. There's no way.
Well, no, he's right. That is just like a prank, but that doesn't make it genius.
No, but he
It'd be
thinks it's genius. And
It'd-
there's the
it'd be
moment where
genius if it was better executed. But this isn't about Freddy Got Fingered.
let's make it about Freddy Got Fingered. It's probably a more interesting movie than this.
Yeah.
Interesting
in how just like obnoxious and crude
Yeah.
and just like
What did you think about the
strange.
characters in this movie?
I mean, it's a family, so of course you're gonna care about them.
Yeah.
Like they do a pretty good job. I'd say Emily Blunt does a good job because she has more to work with because she has to pretend to be pregnant and to like be in pain. John Krasinski,
He's just your dad.
yeah, this is a very dad movie.
Yeah, it is.
It's very dadaganda.
Yeah.
It plays well with the dad, like just like, oh, I'm a man on a farm and I love my wife and my fucking kids and I got this beard and I got to protect them. You know, like it
Yeah.
plays to that very, very well.
I didn't really buy the boy.
He was fine. He was fine. The girl, I liked the girl because she was
I liked her,
She
but
was
I
a real-
didn't. I
she was
didn't
a real-
like her.
she was a real person who was cast in this movie, unlike the boy. Like she wasn't actually an actress. They cast her because she was deaf.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, all right, she might have been an actress. I don't know. I think they casted her because they wanted a real deaf girl.
Interesting. That's cool. I just didn't really. I like the girl. I don't have a problem with her acting. I think her. Just I don't know. Teenagers.
Characters like
She just makes a dumb decision at some point in the movie, and it made me go, "Oh God, why are we doing this? Like, come on, you know, you know the world you live in. You know
should-
this isn't.
should-
You don't need to do this.
Should we just go into spoilers now?
Let's give our ratings beforehand.
I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
I will give it a 6 out of 10. I'm sticking with my 6 out of 10. I think that this movie is a good concept, but it could have dealt with, it would have deserved like
Doesn't really have much.
another
to it.
2 rewrites. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just
just-
the ending was terrible.
Yeah, it's an awful ending. It should have never left the concept stage. It should have never even left the writer's mind. Just it's not really an exciting ending to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when it ends, you're kind of like, okay, like what did that movie do for me? It just like,
Didn't do
what-
anything.
It just had me like on the edge of my seat, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so the first scene in the movie,
Sure.
the best scene of the movie,
Yes.
in my opinion.
Spoilers from here on out. They're in the supermarket, whatever. They're getting pills and shit.
Yeah, they're getting like medicine because
Yes.
they're like kids sick. Why did they? All right, this is a great movie to just nitpick the fuck out of. Why did they have to bring the whole goddamn family?
No idea. No idea. Why were they even there in the first place? Yeah. And oh god, yeah. Why were they doing that?
Like, why wouldn't like Emily Blunt just stay with her like sick kid, and then like the other one, and like it could have just been like the dad.
It really could have.
Yeah, let's bring the whole family. Let's risk everyone's life.
Well, and then yeah, pretty much.
It's like maybe you shouldn't like go in a fucking caravan, like. You know,
you're definitely bound to make more noise like that too.
Yeah,
I don't know, but apparently it's a trip that they often make because it's routed with sand.
Yes.
So, well, what? So they end up leaving. An accident almost happens with their stupid child. Their stupid young boy who's, I guess, an idiot.
He wants to play with this toy.
Yes, he's young, so I guess it makes sense. But no child is that dumb. So, well, some are, but.
I mean, if you're like 5 and like your parents are literally like, if you make a sound, monsters will come get you.
Yeah.
And this is like day 89 or something. So they've been living like this for like a few months.
Yeah. But I guess this kid forgot that. So he doesn't make a noise, but then his nice stepsister is like, here's the toy you almost killed us with.
But she takes the batteries out of it.
Yeah, she does.
And
but
the
takes
fucking kid takes the batteries.
Yeah, because he's an idiot. And so on their way back, inevitably, he at some point puts the batteries back in it and starts making noises with his space shuttle toy because he's an idiot.
Which is in the trailer.
It is?
Yeah, I believe the scene is in the trailer. Or it's at least recut in a different way.
Oh, got it.
Because you do get that shot of like a creature in the distance. You can't really make it out as like John Krasinski's running, and it's like a panning, or not panning, but like a, I don't know, like a dolly shot, I guess, like a fast like camera movement. So it's on like rails or something.
But
he dies.
He dies. He just the kid gets murdered, and
which was and it's a good way to like get shook you a little bit. You're like, that kid just died. He got eaten by a monster. Dude, this kid would have been me. If I was his age in A Quiet Place, I would have died. That's something I would have done if I was like 4 or 5 or 6.
You were an idiot then.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, that would have happened to me.
Well, that's my co-host, I guess, guys. He's a moron. Love you, buddy. I'm glad you're not dead. So, they title card, I guess, comes up.
Yeah.
A Quiet Place. Okay. So, like a year later.
Cool.
Oh yeah, it was in sand, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
So yeah, that's the most like suspenseful part of the movie. After that, like the whole suspense gimmick, like, all right, you gotta be quiet, kind of, it's not as effective after that first scene.
No,
and I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just the theater we were in, but when you finally do hear a loud noise, it didn't like grab me.
No,
like it wasn't loud enough to like be a proper jump scare. Like the noise just kind of comes on. It's kind of like, oh, there's the noise. It doesn't like grab at you. Maybe it's because you're hearing it from a distance.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes more sense because this movie, I guess the sound is kind of the most important aspect.
I guess so.
So I'll give it some credit there.
Sure. So, the movie ends up going on, I guess. And what else do we need to talk about this movie? I don't know. I'm falling asleep.
Well, first of all, maybe they shouldn't have gotten pregnant in this world.
Yeah, should you have used protection from the drugstores you're visiting?
Nutted in her butt. That's what I was thinking.
That should be the tagline of the movie. Should have nutted in her butt.
Yeah, why didn't he just nut in Emily's butt? Like, I'm sorry, but like bringing a child into this world is kind of like it's like the most like least fucking responsible thing you could possibly do.
You're right. I mean, look.
Well, they do pray when they eat, so maybe like.
Oh, maybe
like
they're
Christian
very
values,
Christian. Yeah.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Or maybe
maybe that is the explanation.
Yeah.
I guess that's it.
Maybe
they're very against contraception.
The abortion scene was cut out of the first draft when they gave her an abortion.
Yikes!
Because they're like, look, bringing a kid into this world of crying babies, it's gonna kill all of us. Isn't that kind of like, that's seriously the least fucking responsible thing you could do is get your wife pregnant?
I'm guessing you have to explain it through the religious aspect. These are just heavily religious people, and they are very against contraception. I understand that it's not very responsible, but they're also figuring out like any way. Yeah, like they're mourning their kid that died, and like, you know, they're trying to.
Oh my god! I just thought of it.
What?
When she's like giving birth, they could have brought her to the waterfall.
Oh, they should have.
Yeah, maybe that's it, because you can like scream there, because these monsters, like they don't really react to like natural noises, I guess, that are like continuous. So yeah, I guess they could have brought her there. All right, but still, like the baby's gonna grow up crying. You can't bring the baby to the water fountain, or the waterfall just because it's crying.
Yeah, they should have like fucking, I don't know, maybe there's like a cave or something in the waterfall. Live out of that thing. Live out of it. Or like raise the kid there. I don't know. Just do something else. I don't know. It's kind of dumb. There was a big nitpick that you came up with for this movie that I would like you to explain.
All right. So, I'm
referencing the big one.
So this girl has her hearing aid that is busted, and her father is like tinkering with it, and he thinks he's finally fixed it. But whenever she tries using it, it emits like a high pitch, like low frequency. That if the monsters hear it, because they're sensitive to hearing, it like scrambles their brains. It's like driving them crazy. They run away. It's their weakness.
Sure.
What is the weakness?
It's their kryptonite.
Yes.
If you will.
And when they like project it on the loudspeaker at the end of the movie, and it finally like kind of like sedates it so they can shoot its fucking head. It reminded me a lot of Mars Attacks.
It reminded me a lot of Signs.
Yes, and it is like Signs because they're all in the basement. It's like a family together.
Yeah, and like the water is the weakness, and it immediately wins the day. And this one, the noise is the weakness.
Yes. And Mars Attacks, there's this grandma character who listens to like this annoying like yodeling country music, and the Martians don't like it, so it like causes their heads to like literally like pop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's kind of the same thing, but also it's like, okay, this has been going on for like a year and a half, and like no one knows what the weakness is. And like I was telling Jacob, like, all right, I'm definitely overthinking it, but it's like, dude, the government would have quarantined one of these things. Studied it, they would have found out that frequencies is its weakness, and then bam, they would have wiped them all out.
I agree.
With like some sort of like sonic blast.
You said like country yodeling music in Mars Attacks?
Yeah, it's just a stupid joke. Oh no, stop.
What are you talking? I mean, that's pretty much it though.
It was like dumb like country music that the Martians didn't like. And like
interesting.
They play it on like a loudspeaker. I think they transmit it through like a radio tower so that it's like playing everywhere, and the Martians are just like gak gak.
Their heads explode.
Yeah.
Can we do like a remastered version where they played like Tobacco Road over the loudspeaker?
Yeah, we could. It's done for comedy in that movie. It's meant to just be totally dumb. It's not even really that funny of a joke. It's just meant to be dumb. Yeah, it's just dumb.
When did Mars Attacks come out?
96. Have you seen it?
No.
It's a Tim Burton movie.
Oh wow.
It's kind of forgotten about, but more of like a cult movie. Action? Yeah.
Interesting. What's the creature design look like?
They're like aliens with like brainy heads. Oh. They're very cartoonish looking.
Gotcha. Cool. It's Burton. Anyway, so yeah, the sound is their weakness, but and you just don't think it's like feasible how they could still like have survived this world, because they couldn't have taken over like huge cities or anything because there's too much fucking noise pollution.
Yeah, I brought that up too. So it's like, do they just stay away from places like New York?
Yeah.
But no, like it's the entire world, because like he's like SOSing other countries, and he has like a list, and he just crosses off like Germany and Japan.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like they're all fucking dead. Everyone in Japan got murdered by these creatures. indestructible creatures.
They really are indestructible, aren't they?
Yeah, that's
except to shotguns to the face, apparently.
Yeah, when they open up their flaps, their head flaps, a la the Demogorgon of Stranger Things.
Yeah, that was where it reminded me of the Stranger Things Demogorgon, but whatever. Doesn't matter.
The creatures, they look good, and I found out that it was Industrial Light and Magic who did the effects. So
really?
That's why they look good.
Okay, fair enough.
Because they're a pretty legendary company.
ILM.
Yeah.
That's behind Star Wars.
Yeah.
The Last Jedi. The best Star Wars movie.
So the creatures, they do look good. I was never like, oh, I'm just looking at like some CGI cartoon. They're integrated well into the movie, but they're not really that creative looking. Like, yeah, they're menacing. I wouldn't want to fuck with them, but like they basically look like the molded from Resident Evil 7 lickers from Resident Evil 2, the fungus thingies from The Last of Us. That's what David said. So the monsters, they kind of just reminded me of other monsters, the Demogorgon.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I understand a lot of these reviews that are coming out that are praising this movie very highly are saying that it's really not about the monster, it's kind of about and not to be pretentious, it's about like the family dynamic and stuff, and I get that, but, I mean, let's be real, it's all centered around this monster action, and I just was never really scared of them. Like, I understand that they're supposed to be menacing and all that in a bag of potato chips, but it just wasn't that menacing. And as soon as they,
I mean, they'll fuck you up.
Yeah, like, definitely. Easily. Like, yeah, but I felt like their powers were inconsistent too, because there are points in this movie where they make some noise, and like
the monsters or the people.
No, the people, and like the monsters are supposed to be like so powerful and be able to hear shit and stuff, and especially in the part where the mom, Emily Blunt, is like basically about to fucking drown in their baby basement, that was kind of just brought out of nowhere. And she's drowning in there, and the monster is in there now too. And he's looking around for them, and he ends up putting his head underwater. And and we know as a people that you hear things way better in water, right? So he goes underwater to swim around and get them, and she's shuffling her feet around. Immediately should have died. Like, she immediately should have been taken out. But then he brings his head out of the water, and it reminded me a little bit of that scene from Alien Covenant, where like the shower scene, where the xenomorph is like getting in like close to the the water. There's like the shower and shit like that, and you see it from like it's a silhouette at first, and then it kind of the shadows are playing with it and stuff. It reminded me a little bit of that, but and it's getting close, and then a sound in the distance goes off, and it's like, no, I have to go get that now, and then it leaves.
It's like, ooh, that's louder.
Yeah, and it's like, I get it, but I don't know, that scene was not as tense as they needed it to be.
Also, a baby in peril is like bad screenwriting 101. Gene Siskel said that it's a cheap gimmick to generate suspense is when like a child or a baby is in danger. You know what movie subverts that expectation perfectly? This one, because the kid does die at the beginning. Oh, no. What? Spider-Man 1. Do you know the Someone scene? Save my baby. Yes, and there's a baby crying in there. Yeah. And it's fucking Green Goblin. It just turns and it's a hilariously Raimi scene, but like it's amazing at the same time too. And also, if there was really a woman down there yelling like, "Someone save my baby," there's somebody else up there. All that, well, he does save a baby, but whatever. It's more to show how much of a hero he is than anything. But then like there's another baby up there, and that generates the suspense. And it's fucking Green Goblin, and it's like an old lady crying, and like it's creepy. Just, it's very creepy. Out. It's a creepy scene, but like it's great, and I think that it works there. But yeah, like when the baby's like floating in the water, and like because that's what's happening, right? She's about to grab her baby, but the monster like arises. Yeah, and so, also like why was there water? The water tower got punctured. Yeah, why are they living under a water tower? A busted water pipe that was flooding their basement. Okay, got it. I don't know. I felt like it was weird. Let's talk about that old man scene. Yeah, that sucked. Yeah, that was bad. So they come across this like old man, and like he's just standing there looking all gross and weird. Then we see like his wife, I guess, who's been like mutilated or something. And John Krasinski's like, "Don't scream. For the love of God, don't scream." And the old man, his like face scrunches up and he's just like, "Ah."
Yeah, it's really bad.
And like it's supposed to be like this like like pants shitting moment, but it just comes off as like really like bad.
Yeah, it's awful. Yeah,
like bad direction, I'd say, because like the screams all sound phony. Because we get this 3 times in the movie, and it's supposed to be this pants shitting like powerful moment of like, oh, they're finally able to just scream. I think it works best with Emily Blunt, just in context.
Yeah,
that's when it does kind of work. But I never really bought it. So when the old man does it, it's just kind of like weird and like pointless.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt like
because
they needed something to happen out there while Emily Blunt starts giving birth back at the house, you know? And like it just felt like the entire lead up to it felt like weird, like unnecessary splitting the characters up. Because Emily Blunt's at the house, the deaf girl leaves for no reason because she's upset. And then John Krasinski and the boy, the living boy, leave and go to get fish, yeah, and that's fine. So it splits our characters up. I get it, you know, but then they all have to get back to the house, and save each other, and it's really just kind of all over the place to me. That's why I don't really think there's a plot in this movie like that's too like. It's not formulaic, I'll say that, but there's not really anywhere that characters can go. It's just they just stay in the same place and get back to they need to like keep getting back to a place they've been before, and it's kind of just it doesn't go anywhere.
So Emily Blunt, she gets like a sack of potatoes like caught on like a nail or something.
Yeah,
and it sets up later that there's a nail sticking out on the basement steps. There's a nail sticking up that someone is going to step on.
Yes.
What movie does this instantly bring to your head? There is a nail on the basement stairs that at some point someone is probably going to step on it. I can't be the only one who is thinking this. Oh, come on. It's not like instantly like obvious to you like it was for me. It's Home Alone. It's straight up Home Alone. That's what Macaulay Culkin does. He he punctures like a nail through like sandpaper and sets it there to set up that someone is going to step on it. And I'm like, come on, like that's fucking Home Alone. Home Alone is not something that you want to think of when you're watching like a suspense movie. Like, yeah, sure, it's okay to like borrow things, sure.
Yeah.
But like when you're sitting there and you're like, oh, it's like that silly Macaulay Culkin movie, Home Alone.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I never really thought of that, but then again, like I haven't seen Home Alone as many times as you have, so and you know,
I'm sure other people thought that too.
I'm sure that other people did. I'm just saying that it didn't immediately come to mind for me. But
and of course, Emily Blunt steps on it, and she's like, "Ow, fuck!"
She doesn't even say anything. She's just like,
She drops like a vase or something that shatters, and that's like the main noise.
Yeah. And then she lifts her foot, and everyone in the theater's like,
"Ew, cringe!"
Yeah, they're all just like wincing. Yeah. So, what happens?
The kid falls into a corn silo.
Oh yeah, they do that. Yeah.
That was a decent little fun scene, sinking in the corn. That would actually happen probably. If you fell on top of like thousands and thousands of pounds of like dry corn, you'd sink.
Yeah.
You'd suffocate.
Yeah, I can't be the only one who thought that the boy pulling up the girl, he was just going to pull her fucking arm up.
I thought he was going to pull out a monster. Yeah, I thought it was just going to be the monster.
I thought her arm was just going to be like destroyed and a monster was going to erupt out of the corn. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would have been creepy.
Yeah.
So,
but that didn't happen, and they end up just like driving the monster insane with the high-pitched frequency because of course they do. But it's her superpower. That's what it is. I don't know. It's kind of dumb.
But not before John Krasinski, who just loves his family, you know, for his final moments, which I didn't buy.
I don't buy it either, but here's why I don't buy it. I don't buy that in all this time, he hasn't told his daughter that he loves her. Because he's supposed to be this good guy and, like, you know, all this in a bag of chips, but he just doesn't tell his daughter he loves her. Like,
well,
obviously that would come up.
Well, they're all blaming themselves for the death of their kid.
Yeah, sure.
The daughter
I get it.
is, like, guilty because she gave him the toy. She didn't give him the fucking batteries, though. And then the mom's like, why wasn't I holding him?
Yeah.
You were holding the other child. I could have been holding him.
Yeah, I saw a review for this movie that was like, it asks the fundamental question of what happens when we can't protect our children. And that question gets asked once. You know? Like, that's asked one time. And then it's kind of forgotten about.
I mean, it seems like they're doing pretty well. Like, they are able to protect them. Because they do survive, like, a fucking year and a half of this.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty impressive, you know? But, like, I don't know. I just kind of felt like that review was reaching a little. That was not the vibe I got from this movie. But, it doesn't really ask that question too hard. It asks it once where Emily Blunt's like, how can we protect them? What happens when we can't? It's like, I mean, you know, these are pretty big monsters here. Like, it's not like you're not doing a good job.
There's 3 confirmed.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't buy it. But,
you think there's more of them than just 3?
I just think it's like, it ends up being confirmed that there is 3 when they blow off the head of the one, and I guess the others are like, we should probably go check that out. And, you know, you see them. It reminded me of a Black Mirror episode, where you see, God, yeah, it does remind me of that. Jesus Christ. Where there's these robot dogs that are trolling around this area, protecting, I don't know, like this place. It's kind of vague. And, it's black and white the whole episode. It's from this most recent season. And this woman ends up killing this dog, like these demon dogs or whatever, these robotic dogs. She kills
Fahrenheit
one.
451.
Oh, yeah?
Didn't that book have robotic dogs?
I don't know.
I think it did. Anyways.
Anyway, but she kills the one, and then this lady kills one. She's stuck in like this bedroom compound area type situation, and you see on either the cameras or just like panning shots of different dogs of the exact same kind she's been running from the entire episode. She's just been running from the one, but there's just like dozens of them coming, and like you see them from like, you know, a backed out shot, and it's kind of menacing. Like, it's all these dogs that she cannot fight. Like, they're gonna kill her. And it reminded me of that because you see on the monitors, black and white, these monsters just running across the screen, and it's kind of eerie, but it reminded me a bunch of that episode.
And then we get the terrible last shot of the movie.
Yeah.
Where like it's supposed to be like badass, but it's just a bad ending. It ends with like Emily Blunt like staring at her daughter because they know how to take them down.
Yeah, basically they use the frequencies and then they blow their heads off.
Yeah.
That's it.
And but it just ends with Emily Blunt just cocking her shotgun. Then it cuts to black.
Yeah. Directed by John Krasinski.
There was like an audible groan in the theater, wasn't there? People,
no one liked that ending.
Yeah, people were kind of just like, like because it is a bad way to end a movie. It feels like, you know, I feel like okay, it's not going to show that. It just ends.
Would have been cool to show it, but would it have been more effective? Probably not. But you know, like, just go ahead and show them doing this because you're basically confirming that they will.
It's like I Am Legend. Now they're gonna like share it and save everyone.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. That ending is awful. But
I don't know. I had a hard time believing that like the whole world has been like destroyed by these things.
That didn't bother me a ton because I can suspend my disbelief a pretty good bit, you know. But
I guess I can't.
I mean, it's not that you can't. I'm not saying you can't. I just didn't think about it.
It's just something that that's the thing I thought about it. Like, because it doesn't show any of the outside because it's supposed to be like, oh, it's like a personal, quaint story about this family.
Yeah, which I get. I just think it could have been like
which is what Signs did.
Sure.
Signs never really. Well, it showed like news stuff.
Yeah, I just think it could have benefited from being more like The Mist, where they need to get to a location, they need to get somewhere. It's, you know, there's an objective. There's no objective really in this movie, just to get back to the house. They spread everybody out just to get back.
Yeah, just to live day by day.
Exactly. And it could have benefited from like, oh, there's a colony out there that we need to go to. There's I mentioned to you after the movie that this movie felt like it had too few of characters. And it really did. Like, it could have...
I mean, you have that crazy old man. You have a crazy old
He's not a
coot in the
character.
Woods.
He's not a character.
Yeah,
It's not...
He screams.
No. He, I don't know, I got the sense that it could have benefited from, like, more characters with some different ideologies, akin to The Mist. You know, like...
Yeah, The Mist had great characters.
Yeah, it did, because it had characters you didn't like, it had characters you did like. Yeah. And in this
characters
one, you're supposed to like everybody, but you don't really.
You also had very simple characters in The Mist, which worked fine.
Yeah, you have caricatures of, like, human beings, you know, like the super religious zealot lady, and, like, the
geeky teenager who gets killed.
Yes, the army men who knew, like, who know what's going on. There are things like that in this movie that aren't in this movie that could have been there. And you know what I mean? Like, I just felt like focusing on this family is admirable, and they wanted to make that small, quaint story, but it could have used maybe some grander scale type scenarios, you know, like maybe we need to get to this camp that's out there somewhere that's rumored that they don't know about. It could have benefited from, like, you know, like your road trip-y movie type thing, not like Logan or something, they need to get somewhere.
But they can't. But traveling is, like, kind of like not a good idea for them. Like,
sure.
No wonder they don't just stay at their farm. They have everything they need there to survive.
Yeah, it makes sense. But, like, at the end of it, like, they could have done something where, I don't know, John Krasinski's character has set out, like, he's sanded an entire pathway, like, out there to safely get them to, I don't know, like a fucking beach or something.
His goal is to, like, weren't they at a beach in this movie? Is there a scene where they're at the beach?
I don't think so.
There wasn't?
No.
What about that scene where the girl's, like, lying down in the sand?
I figured she just had sand, like, in the yard or something. She's, like, next to a cornfield.
Oh. John Krasinski's like, we're gonna sand across the entire nation.
I don't know. I just there could have been something else here where they
like
have to stay with somebody. They have to stay with some crazy people. You know, like, they could have stayed with that crazy old man's family, like, on their way to the colony, and it turns out, like, those people are actually insane. You know what I mean? Like, and they're, like, gonna commit suicide that next day, and they plan on murdering the family too because they think it's in their best interest. Like, they think there's no hope in the world or whatever. Something like that. I know it's very shitty writing because I'm making it up right now, but I don't know. I think it couldn't have benefited from something more Stephen King-y.
Well, yeah, like I said, like, it feels like this movie needed, like, another, like, script rewrite or something, because it felt like it was lacking just something.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like it was, like, missing something to make this, like, a great movie.
Yeah.
Well, this movie could have been a Cloverfield movie.
It could have been. You mentioned that after we saw the movie, and then, like, the next day an article came out that was talking about how they considered making it one.
I'm not surprised, since it is a Paramount release movie.
Yeah.
And has monsters in it.
Yeah, and obviously those are the only requirements for a Cloverfield movie. It has to be a Paramount movie, and it needs to have monsters. I'm surprised it wasn't.
I'm glad they didn't.
I'm glad they did too. Reading the reasoning for it's kind of funny. It's like, yeah, we decided that it just kind of stood on its own.
Yeah.
Like, did it?
I mean,
like it could have been probably better if it was a Cloverfield movie. Would I think it was better?
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place is now its own, like, unique thing. If it came out and it was a Cloverfield movie, it'd be like, oh, it's another Cloverfield movie. It's just another script that got repurposed.
Sure. I'm going to say this movie's
like The Cellar.
Forgettable.
The Cellar or God Particle.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's kind of a forgettable movie.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not, like, thinking about it or anything. If it's on, like, TV, maybe I'd watch it again. If it was on Netflix. Yeah. I mean, I had fun with it. I'm glad I saw it in theaters, because I think it does make a good theater experience.
You know, I'm going to actually say that I think it makes a better home movie experience to me.
Really? But you're with, like, a group of people all being quiet.
Watch it on your big TV in a dark house. I think that's more effective to me.
In the middle of nowhere?
Sure. But, like, I think it's, I don't know, being in a group of people who are bound to make noise at some point and who do make noise. I just kind of felt like I was in a dark room with a large group of people watching a thing. And that's exactly what we were doing. But, you know, I didn't feel like I could still hear people. You know, people made noise, and it was distracting to me somewhat. And maybe it wasn't distracting to you, but it distracted me. And I fucking hated it.
Yeah, you were sitting next to some weird, like, drunk guy.
Yeah, I was sitting next to like, you know, fucking
Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Or like Jeffrey Dahmer or some shit.
Yeah, he wanted to cut me up.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I probably felt bad.
Maybe he is a scumbag.
Maybe. I don't know. He seemed like a decent human. But, you know, whatever. I think,
So long, Screwy!
Wow. Well done. Wow. I think this movie is forgettable. It's not going to change horror. It's hardly a horror movie.
It kind of feels like a Spielberg-y type movie towards the end. Like, I got some like Jurassic Park vibes for sure.
Oh yeah,
when they're like in the car and they're in like the silo, kind of turned into like more adventure movie. I think some people, they might have brought up Gremlins
as like a
sort of kind of
comparable movie. I guess.
Like, nah, maybe not Gremlins. All right, Tremors definitely.
Oh yeah, it does. Tremors. It is a little bit of Tremors, in there, just because the blind monsters
and like, oh, you can't touch the ground. Oh, you can't make a sound.
Here's my question: how could these monsters not have echolocation?
They do.
No, they don't.
Well, what do you mean echolocation?
Echolocation, like
echoes
like
sound.
Pinging. No, like. No.
Like vibrations? Like
no,
a bat?
Like, kind of, yeah. Like, dolphins use echolocation, bats use echolocation, where, like, they make a noise, like they ping you. Ping!
Oh,
and it bounces
you mean,
back off
so they can find what they need?
Yeah, so they can see, but they don't have eyes. They can see, though. Like, they still know where you are because they make little minuscule sounds.
Well, that's what they lack, and that's how people are able to survive.
Sure, I get it. But, like, they would have evolved to do that. How did they get here?
They came from space.
Okay.
I'll confirm that because one of the article things, which I actually really liked the newspaper articles. That,
I like them too. I like that they said like
sound
angel of death.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's why I think they're from space. Angels of death.
Mm-hmm.
Angels typically descend from the sky.
Sure, maybe they like crashed here or something.
Yeah, I think.
But like, how could
this movie's too smart to give it a backstory. By completely ignoring all of it, it actually makes it really smart and deep.
Does it?
That's the idea of like not getting into the backstory. Hey, if you just don't talk about where the monster came from, it actually makes it really deep.
I understand not getting into the backstory because I mean, like, whatever you come up with, it's not going to be something that's not been done before.
Yeah.
So I kind of get that aspect of it. Just don't even try because you're not going to surprise people. Just say like. Angels of death, whatever. They came from underground. They, whatever. Just say something that explains it briefly. I don't know. It's fine.
You think there's like an article? Why A Quiet Place is actually really deep.
Is it? Probably, yeah. Probably. I don't know. So I give this movie a 6 out of 10. I think it's fun.
Yeah,
and, it's a good time.
I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it or anything.
No.
I didn't sit there and was like, wow, this sucks. There was a few moments that I thought were pretty bad. Like the old man and when John Krasinski go, ah!
I would like to say that I would change John Krasinski's death moment to where he instead of just screaming after signing to his deaf daughter, I love you, he should have signed it to her first that said, like, I love you. And then you should have just yelled, like, or said, he should have signed it, and then you just should have said in a normal voice, I love you. And then that creature just immediately fucking consumes him.
That could have been cool. That could have been cool. Maybe not just say it casually, but maybe, like, call it out.
Yeah.
I
think him screaming, I love you, till he dies.
It's pretty corny, but I guess it's,
that would have been terrible. That's why I say, like, just fuck it. Say just, like, I love you, like, in a meaningful way. Where, like, he's desperately saying it, but he says it loud enough to where the creature just, like, hops off the car and just fucking impales him and show it.
I guess it would have been more meaningful than just Jim going, nah!
Yeah, it's really silly.
Yeah, it's just silly. Like, I get it's supposed to be this powerful moment.
Yeah, I understand what they're going for, but it just doesn't really work for me. Fine, whatever.
So do
If
you
it doesn't
think
work for me, doesn't mean it doesn't work for everybody else. Anyway, what?
So do you think we'll get a sequel? A Quieter Place.
No.
Yeah, probably not.
But what would have been the Cloverfield Silence?
Yeah,
what it would have been
probably
called?
Cloverfield Silent.
The Cloverfield.
The Quiet Cloverfield. Cloverfield Quiet.
The Cloverfield. The Cloverfield Deafness.
The
The Cloverfield Farm.
So I recently watched 8.5, considered to be Federico Fellini's finest achievement in cinema, and is frequently regarded as one of the greatest films ever made.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
You talking to me?
Yeah, I watched it. You want to know what I thought of 8.5?
Yeah.
Part of me really fucking hated it. I don't know if you've ever heard of 8.5, but
I never have.
You only watch 8.5 because it's frequently known as one of the best movies ever. Best, not as in like entertaining, but like kind of like Citizen Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just okay. You watch it because you know it's one of the best movies. If anyone ever says 8.5 is their favorite movie, they're fucking lying. Like that's not true. Like it's not like it's not a true statement unless you're like 50 years old and you like used to watch it on TV in Italy.
I've never heard of it, so I can't really attest to it at all.
It's very influential
Mm-hmm.
because it's about a director with creative block and how his life is falling around. It was basically
It's like Barton Fink.
Yeah, it's like Barton Fink. It's the original Birdman.
Oh.
I didn't actually hate it. It was just baffling. It was confusing.
Oh.
It was very strange.
So it's very much like Barton Fink then.
Yes.
Barton Fink is a strange movie.
Yeah, Barton Fink is a strange movie.
My dad told me to watch it, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'll watch it. And
he's like,
boy, what a film that was.
Yeah, he's like neighbors with Satan or something.
Something like that,
Someone
yeah.
who represents the devil. And
yeah, it's John Goodman.
He like, I remember had a cool ending when he finally gets to that painting.
Yeah.
In real life.
And it's, and he's in it.
So, yeah,
Freaky.
Barton Fink would be a great comparison.
Mm-hmm.
8.5, it does have a really cool dream sequence at the beginning where the director, Guido, which they say his name about 1 million times, he's stuck in like a huge traffic jam and he gets out of his car and he starts like flying. So basically Birdman.
Birdman, yeah.
Yeah, Birdman.
Interesting.
Which is also about the creative process.
Yeah.
It was just weird. It's supposedly like a comedy. I didn't find it funny at all.
It might just be like, that might just be a bit of a, I don't know, culture gap.
Maybe.
Just sort of, you know.
It has like magical realism in it. It's very introspective. The guy Guido, he's kind of like an arrogant, egotistical, like ladies man.
Yeah.
And like I'm kind of like, well, why should we care about this guy? But it's like, I guess you're supposed to hate him and he's supposed to be like a clown. Then after you're done watching it, you're like, this movie is brilliant, isn't it? I don't really get it though.
Fair enough. I mean, you know, not every movie's for you.
No.
Certainly,
but
whenever the Lego movie came out, I hated it, and I still hate it, so, you know.
But then I'm reading, like, IMDb reviews, and people are like, oh yeah, everyone hates it the first time they watch it. It's after, like, the second time you realize it's, like, the greatest fucking movie ever made, and I'm like, okay, like...
I have to watch it again.
I guess.
How'd you watch it?
I bought it on Criterion, because it's one of their most popular Criterion movies, and I've always heard about it. 8.5.
Gotcha.
Stylized as the number 8. 1, 2. And then they made 9 with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Really?
Yeah, one of Daniel Day-Lewis's rare flops. It was his follow-up to There Will Be Blood.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And the same guy made it?
No. The director of Chicago made 9. It's like a companion, like, remake or something of it.
Any good?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I remember I thought it looked like doggy doo-doo when it came out. It's like a musical with Daniel Day-Lewis. How good?
Really?
Yeah, how good can that movie be?
Is 8.5 musical?
There's a lot of music in it, kind of, sort of. It was just a weird movie.
Interesting.
It was very surreal.
I see.
Not in like a cool Lynchian way, more in like a what the fuck is happening?
Well, I
So,
guess
yeah.
there's some there's something to be gleaned from that.
Yeah.
There's some style to that. Anyway,
Federico Fellini's finest achievement.
Is it? So, well, I guess that does it for this week. We talked a lot.
Yeah.
We've spoken quite a bit to each other. Well, I guess that's The Quiet Place. Or A Quiet Place. The Cloverfield Deafening.
Cool little monster movie.
Yeah.
It was just like a home movie that John Krasinski made.
Yeah, with his family.
Yeah, when it ended.
On his farm.
Yeah, when the movie ended, Jacob leaned over and he goes, "That was a cute little movie." And yeah, it was just like a home family movie he made with his wife and his neighbor's kids.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they have kids.
I
Or at
think
least
they do.
maybe they're not that age. I know they don't have a deaf daughter who's like Australian. Is this our Australian deaf daughter?
They do not have a daughter that is Australian, no, or deaf, I believe. But no. Question, real quick. Where can we find you?
You can add me on Facebook.
Okay.
Send me a message. I'll accept your friend request.
We
Send us
can
a
do that.
fucking question.
Yeah. Well, you can find me on Twitter, at Jacob's Wetsuit. You can find me on Instagram, at Jacob's Wetsuit. You can find me on Facebook, probably at Jacob's Wetsuit. I don't know. My full name, at least. You can find me, Jacob Snyder. You can look me up. You can find us on YouTube at FPP Creative Group. You can find Collin on YouTube at Collin After Hours, where basically he cheats on me and does a podcast on his own. And sometimes he does movies that we have yet to talk about. And it sort of offends me sometimes. It makes my balls shrivel.
I didn't do a review for Quiet Place or Unsane.
Thank God.
Just didn't really feel like it, honestly.
I understand.
Wasn't in the mood.
You did Ready Player One, though, right?
Yeah, I did.
Before the podcast.
Yes.
That's pretty hurtful. It's fine.
Did you?
It's fine. I jerked off, and then it was okay. It was okay at the end. I was like, he can do that. He can do whatever he wants. He can do whatever he wants.
He's a big boy. He's a big boy.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He can handle it.
He's a big boy.
Yep.
One of the greatest pictures I've ever seen in my entire life. A Quiet Place. I want to make a movie just like that.
Scorsese? Scorsese?
Scorsese. What did you think of A Quiet Place? One of the best movies I've ever seen in my entire life. I want to make a movie just like that, but with sound. The opposite.
That's pretty good at Scorsese, actually.
Wait, imagine if they did the opposite of this concept for A Quiet Place, but instead they always had to make obnoxious noise. So the whole movie, they're like banging on tables, just like just acting completely idiotic, and it starred Tom Green, and it was called A Loud Place, and eventually one of them passes out from exhaustion and like collapses, and they stop making a noise, and that's when a monster comes in to kill them.
Oh, the monster's like attracted to silence.
Yeah,
I like it.
Which I guess would...
And then there's like newspaper articles with "It's silence."
Everyone be loud. I guess that wouldn't be hard to do. You know,
just have music playing all the time.
Yeah,
that's it.
If you want to go to sleep, just like turn on your TV and like put in like sound canceling headphones. So it's basically the world that we live in
gets
today.
Unplugged, or like the power goes out and you're fucked.
And the monster's running up to you while you're sleeping, but they hear you go. So they ease back. They're like,
yeah,
next time.
Yeah, someone has like a Vietnam nightmare. Oh god! Just scares a monster away.
Then they see the monster and they start screaming.
Yeah,
and it goes away.
God,
that would make a really obnoxious movie. A Loud Place.
It'd be terrible.
Yeah,
it'd be terrible.
So
yeah, where else can we be found? I don't know. You can email the show.
You can add me on Snapchat. All that cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm on Snapchat too. You can email the show at FPP Creative Group. No, sorry, just fppcreative@gmail.com. Yeah, you can do that. fppcreative@gmail.com. You can email the show. We'll ask your question on there if you want. We never really get emails, to be quite honest. So if you email us, that'd be great. That'd be pretty awesome. We really are desperate.
Yeah, come on, Zeke.
Answers. Yeah, Zeke. Let's get on it.
Or David. Yeah, David's questions suck.
No, they don't.
They're like, "What's your favorite soda?" I'm just kidding, David.
It's a question. That's all I'm asking for.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Dav.
He's not kidding, Dav. So that is that. That is our review of Quiet Place and some other shit that we talked about. Whatever we talked about. Can't remember anymore. All right, well, anything you want to say? Anything else you want to give to the audiences before we leave?
Watch 8.5 if you want to look really smart. Say you watched 8.5 and you thought it was a masterpiece of unprecedented brilliance. You look really smart.
Okay.
It's okay to like the movie, but it's kind of like it's no one's favorite movie. 8.5 is your favorite movie. You're fucking lying. Unless you're like Scorsese.
Yeah, obviously. I have begun to watch Mindhunter, the Netflix original, and by next week I'll probably have it finished.
Is this a Marvel thing?
No.
Okay, good.
No, fuck you. No, it's about like serial killers and stuff like that, like back in the 70s and stuff. Yeah.
Is it a documentary?
It's not a documentary, but I think it's like it's a fictional It's a non-fiction. No, it's certainly fiction.
It's a
but
non-fiction.
It's an exaggerated fiction. It's historical fiction. It's a period piece of a show. It's kind of neat, you know. It's sort of I don't know. It's sort of interesting.
That Genesis poster that you have is actually pretty cool.
It's kind of neat. I don't know. It's a good poster because it just looks like an assembly line picture of like a T800, I guess. Yeah, and it has this barcode at the bottom that I wonder if like it works if you scan it.
Maybe.
I bet it does. We'll try it after this episode is over. We'll try to scan it. Anyway, that's the show. Follow us on all the platforms and shit. They're all in the description too if you don't want to listen to what we say. And all that jazz. So, yeah.
Have fun working on this, Jacob.
I will have fun working
Shouldn't
on
you
this.
be studying instead?
I should be. I actually, last week is the quickest I've ever rendered out like an episode before.
Really?
Yeah, I've gotten like fairly good at it. I can do it in about like an hour. Have everything set up to load and everything up, so I can render it out pretty quick and be back to the books. You know, hit the books, Snyder.
That's what your teachers used to say.
That's what my coach said.
All right.
Anyway,
all right. This is the end of the podcast.
Hashtag
38.
Hashtag Goo for Violence.
Yeah. So long.
So long, Screwy.